stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
Hello, I am Joe Douglas, and I do not think we need offensive linemen. I think we're fine. That's what I think. I think we're fine. What's everybody freaking out about? I am Joe Douglas. What's up, everybody? I am here in New Jersey. I'm in some room somewhere about maybe an hour from the stadium. And I'm up here to hang out and see you guys. That's what I'm here to do. 2 days of travel, kicked my butt, stayed in Baltimore last night just so I can throw some eggs. Not at the stadium, but just somewhere in Baltimore. I threw some eggs in Baltimore. They know why. They know. Wherever those eggs landed, they know. They know what they did. Hey, Walt's here. I just saw Walt over on the Jetnation live stream. I was over there. But guys, listen, we're going to have a good time tonight. You want to know why? Because we need each other. This is the thing. I was telling Frankie before the show, and we'll bring him on in a sec, that I'm catching myself. It's a barrage. It's always bad news with this friggin' team. And I caught it. I caught myself a little tiny bit gloomy, a little tiny bit. So we're going to use each other. We're going to utilize one another to help ourselves climb out of the goop into the soup. What do you think about that, Frankie? Let's say hello to Frankie from Flatbush. What's up, Frankie?
Well, we do have some good storylines coming into this Sunday.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that. With all of the negativity floating around, we do have some exciting, cool things happening.
Oh, my God. I can't wait. I heard nothing. I mean, unless you consider Robert Saleh changing his tune from Zach could start this week to he's not starting until week 4. I mean, unless that's good news.
No.
That. No,
not talking about that. I'm talking about a man who's going to be in the stands, who grew up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York, and who grew up a New York Jet fan, rooting for Freeman McNeil, Kenny O'Brien, Wesley Walker, the New York Sack Exchange. And this man then went from Brooklyn, New York down to Georgia, and he had a son, and he named his son after himself. And the son grew up to be a great football player. But then the father, who was a workout guy and a bodybuilder, very strong, muscles, and so forth, then he ran into some health problems, and he had to go on dialysis. He had kidney problems, and he needed a kidney transplant, and it was terrible. And he had to go see his son, his son's football games for Auburn and everything like that. And he did it. He did so because he loved his little son so much, who was at this time not so little. And then but finally he gets a kidney transplant. Fantastic. Okay, he's healthy. And then COVID hits. And he has to go into the hospital for 9 weeks with COVID, and he almost doesn't make it out of there. But finally he does. And then what happens? His son, whose name is Carl Lawson, signs with the New York Jets. And they think, okay, we're going to watch this kid play for my favorite team. And then he tears his Achilles. But now, all of that is behind us. This Sunday, Carl Lawson Sr. will be in MetLife Stadium at 1 p.m. as we kick off the game, and Carl Lawson Jr. gets on the field for the first time. How about that?
Well, you know what, Frankie, and thank you for the story. It's nice to have background on such
and also,
things.
let me just say that was reported by Country Club Connor Hughes. I didn't make that up. That came out this week. Good job by Country Club Connor. He wrote a great story. Let me give props to Country Club Connor.
Well, look, Connor told us, that's kind of what he likes to do. He doesn't really want to be the scoop, the guy out there clamoring for the first moment that the news drops. He wants to write stories. That's what he said. He wants to get
Yeah.
the details. He wants to tell you the why, is what he said.
And that's a good job. He did a great job.
Now, look, I wonder if Carl Lawson Sr. can throw eggs. That's all I can mean. Is he allowed to do anything to impact the game? Frank?
I other than the emotion of just being there, and hopefully, if he's smart, Woody Johnson will put him in a box. Say, okay, Lawson's, I read this story. This is heartbreaking, heartwarming, and then heartwarming story. Come on up to the box. Mama Lawson, Daddy Lawson, all the Lawsons, they should be in the box with Woody. Tell you that much.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So, hey, man, well, that's good news. I mean, it's not quite, it's not overcoming the Dwayne Brown news today, but it is what it is. And look, we're going to grab onto whatever positives that we can, because the truth is, overall, we have significantly more positives to look at than we do negatives. Of course, because of who we are and what we've been through as a collective, we're going to focus on the negatives because we want to just go into the damn game and look, win, lose, draw. You want to have your guys. You don't want to walk in there going, oh my God, we're on our fourth string this already. Like, that's kind of what you want to avoid. But here we are nonetheless. And Frankie, here's the really good news. It's week 1. We are here, man. We are 48 hours or so away. Not even, right? What is it? What is today? Thursday, Friday? I don't know. 69 hours, something like that, away from NFL football, New York Jets style. Of course, the NFL season kicks off tonight with the Buffalo Bills versus the LA Rams. I would appreciate some updates from you guys in the chat. That would be great. Obviously, we are all rooting for the Rams. I'd like to see a 44-0 drubbing. That's what I'm rooting for, because I hate the Bills, okay? And I'm not afraid to say it. Everybody's, you got to respect. I don't have to respect nothing. I don't like them, and I don't want them to win, and that's the way it goes. So let's say hello. Let's start with, we got a super chat nice and early. Thank you, Rod Smith. He says, did you notice Zach's body language at the presser yesterday? It was the most unconfident I've ever seen him. Was he trying to protect the lie or what? Frankie, what do you think about what Rod is saying here? Did you pick up the same vibe? I'll be honest, I was traveling all day yesterday, so I didn't catch the Zach press conference. So maybe you did. What do you think? You think Zach Wilson is protecting a lie here? Is it the doctors? Is it solid? We're going to talk about this. So might as well start with this. What do you think?
I did notice, his body language. I don't think he was trying to protect the lie. What I did think is that this is a kid who wants to go out there and play, and he's set, and he's upset that he can't go out and play. He wants to go and do it and do the thing. He loves playing. He did all that work in the off season. And now he's got to be out for 30 weeks, for first 3 games, and he's disappointed and he's upset, and and he's in front of the jackal media that we have, and it's an uncomfortable position for a 23-year-old to be in, and it's not the way he wants it to go. So, but I don't think he's protecting any lies. I don't think there were any lies.
Well, you know what I think happened? Now, this is going to be brand new, fresh, off the GreenBean press. And you can, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm unafraid. You throw stones, you root for me, whatever. This is what I think. I think that the little run-throughs and all that kind of stuff made the thing worse. That's what I think. I think that they put him out there. They tried to test the knee, and he hurt himself. That's what I think. Now, they haven't said as much. They said, no, it was always going to be, or whatever they do. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, that's what I think. I think, look, we should have, he was not playing week 1. We knew that. You should have waited the extra week. After the game, put him in, see if he's ready. If he's not ready, sit him, do next week. There's no reason to run him through all these practices 2 days in a row. Now, I know it's a 2 to 4 week injury, and if he can play, and look, I'm on board with that. I was on the side of things, Frankie, that if he's healthy, he plays. But going into week 1, 3 weeks with Flacco, that's not even enough time to really do it. But you got 3 weeks. I was like, let's just cool our jets, and we'll start with week 2, But I think they might have aggravated it, Frankie. That's what I think. What do you think about that?
Well, my understanding is that he didn't go through practice. What he did was he went through a workout with the med staff. So the medical staff has to put him through tests to see where the thing is. And so I think he went through a workout with the medical staff, and then they realized, okay, nope, it's not responding the way we like it. And that's the way it was. I mean, then
I read that he was on the field. He was doing like walkthrough stuff on the field. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
Walkthrough is different. But I think when when Salah was talking about, the medical staff putting him through a workout, I think it was a medical workout, to see how it would respond, and it didn't respond. And that's what he said would happen. If the medical staff would clear him, then he'll move on to the next step. The medical staff didn't clear him, so he didn't move on to the next step. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing, because this is now like the 4th time that poor Robert Saleh went out there and said one thing. And
that's another good
What do you
point.
make of this, Frankie?
You
What
should
is
say
it?
less. Like, that's a good point. I think they should learn their lesson and shut the hell up about these injuries. If you want, I had an idea. Why don't we put Brad DeWeese out there? Let's put Dr. DeWeese out there to talk about our injuries. He's the doctor, like not Robert Saleh. Like all these coaches. And by the way, all the head coaches say the same things that Robert Saleh says. It's nothing different. It's called coach speak. There's a hashtag for it. And so it's a known thing. All these head coaches say the same thing. Whenever anybody's injured, they say, oh, yeah, he'll be back in 2 minutes. It's not a problem. Oh, yeah, it's just a little bone, just a little scratch. Nothing problem. All the head coaches are like, for whatever reason, the football coaches are just like that. I don't know why. But they should learn to shut up about the injuries. They should just say, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. When we check him out, and we have a diagnosis from the doctors, we will give it to you. But I am not a doctor. We'll let you know. And then that would keep him out of trouble. But instead, he goes on and on.
He talks.
And he talks, and he's a people person, and he wants to charm everybody. And it's like, you're not going to charm these people. They're not normal people. They're the press. They're there for a purpose. And that purpose isn't to make you look good. It's to get people's eyeballs on their work. And they're going to do that by any means necessary. So you're not going to charm these people, Saleh, no matter how charming you are. So you might as well learn. I think Brian Daboll does a good job of it, actually, with the Giants. You could learn a lesson from him. He's very nice. He's not defensive. He doesn't have terrible body language like Gase and Bowles sometimes did. But when he has a firm answer, he says no. Like when they was talking about Blake Martinez, they asked him 4 times about Blake Martinez. And the first time he answered the question the way he wanted to, which was we decided to move on and, do what's best for the team or whatever he said. And then the other 3 times he said, I've already answered that question. Refer to my previous answer. And he said, next question. And that's what you do. You don't give them what they want. They want to trap you. And that's what happens. And then everybody gets all upset.
That's right. And then what they do, and when you have to go back on it, they literally will throw in your face, well, but you said.
Right. They have it. They said on August 29th, you said exactly. Yeah. They will come back at you. They will keep it. They have it. They saved it. They may not get you today. They may not get you tomorrow, but they're going to get you. That's how it works. Somebody needs to educate these people.
Yeah. And I think Saleh could really do well to pipe down, honestly. I mean, he talks so much that when he doesn't say anything, you can derive meaning from that. Like, for example, the Denzel Mims, the Mekhi Beck, like when he doesn't say anything, you now know what it means, because when it's the other way, he sings it from the mountaintops. And I don't know. I mean, Robert Saleh, I think is I mean, I hope he's learning, but he's going through the gauntlet right now. And if he comes out, Frankie, and we struggle, like let's say we come out flat, and we're just exploring something, guys. We're not saying they're gonna. I'm not negative. Let's just say hypothetically, we come out a bit flat. The game's okay, but we lose 28-10. And then we lose a couple weeks and stuff. Like Saleh's going to be in hot water, I think. I mean, I don't know. You don't want to throw anybody out there so soon, but I think when you look at certain things, it's the coach. And I think a lot of people out there, at least what I've gotten, I'm getting an influx of concern specifically pointed at Robert Saleh. And I think that he needs to learn these lessons as opposed to just continuing to be true to himself and whatever that is. Like, no, learn and alter your methods with the press and how you're doing this and with your players. I still, somebody brought up in a DM to me just last night, or was it this morning? The whole thing where he doesn't think that he has to motivate players. And it's like, we're about to find out week one, if that, 1 year was his rookie year. Now we're in year 2. This is his team. We're about to find out if he does in fact need to motivate his players and what that looks like. But I think Robert Saleh is kind of going through it right now, man. And you could see that he said, I don't want to answer this question anymore, so I'm going to tell you. It almost felt like a little bit of frustration, Frankie. Do you think I'm off on that one?
No, I think you're right. He has to learn. I mean, a big part of the job is handling the media, and there's perfect models out there for him. I think Brian Daboll is a good one to model. If you want to go extreme, you go to the Bill Belichick model. Don't tell him anything. But I think probably Brian Daboll is probably, the model you want to use. You look at Brian Daboll, he's not defensive. He's not hiding anything, but when he needs to be firm, he is. And he's very friendly, and he calls them by their name and all this stuff. And he's a friendly guy. But when something about injury or releasing a player that he doesn't want to talk about, he doesn't talk about it. And that's the end of it. Or Mike Tomlin, there's plenty of models out there for how to do this. And I think somebody on our media team needs to get with him, because it would be a shame to get this guy in a hot seat because he can't handle the media. He can't figure out that these people are not your friend. You can't charm them, no matter how much you say, in a charming way. You might charm them today and tomorrow, but they're still coming at you to get their job done, because it's their job. It's not them personally. This is how I succeed at my job, is to create juicy headlines and drama and things for people to get emotionally charged up about. That's what their job is.
Right. And whatever feelings, we may have about it, I've gone at the media, as have you, more than most.
And I've realized it's futile.
Oh, no, yeah.
I've realized it's futile. No matter how many videos I put out explaining this, the media's Cam Newton had this quote: "The media's microphone will never be as big as my microphone." Or, I mean, the other way around. My microphone will never be as big. And he has a YouTube channel. He has a voice. And he says, my microphone will never, ever be as big as the media's microphone, no matter what I do. Nope. And if Cam Newton's saying that, my little videos that I do and try to educate people and show them the method and all this, it's not going to make a difference, because then you go on Twitter and you see people still freaking out and still,
Yeah.
So you have to play the game. So you have to play the game. In other words, you can't get out of the game by not playing it, and you can't get out of the game by charming them. The thing I've realized that Denzel Mims did wrong, actually, he opted out. He tried to not play the game of the media, and that is a losing strategy, because if you don't give Country Club Connor that story that Carl Lawson just gave him, right, he is going to hold that against you forever. You better be an all-pro player then and do nothing wrong your entire career. Otherwise, he's going to hold that against you your whole life. I mean, he basically told you that in the interview you did with him, GreenBean, and and you can see why. So that somebody should have got with Denzel early on and said, look, if you opt out of this and you tell them no, you're allowed to, but this is what's going to happen then.
Yeah, and then, they're gonna put you out there like your neck is on the chopping block, and they're not going to be your friends. And we saw it. I mean, it really felt, Frankie. It was like, what is the deal? Like, why are they consistently attacking that guy? And it could very well be, because he's not playing our game, and we're in charge.
And
Frankie, what's interesting is that Garrett Wilson said on that podcast,
with the pivot,
he said that we are prepped.
Yeah, and so what is the quality of that prep? This is what I'm saying. Maybe that prep stinks. We need people in there know what the hell they prep him up, but maybe they give him garbage prep, because nobody prepped Denzel. And Denzel, by the way, we learned later that Denzel also, in addition to that, repeatedly said no to their, do you know how they determine who goes up on the podium?
Enlighten us.
Well, the media requests people. The media says, we want Denzel, we want JFM, we want Carl Lawson, we want this one and that one. Other than Saleh and the quarterback, Those are like standard. But anybody else, the media puts in requests to the Jets. And the player's supposed to say yes. They can say no, that nobody's going to like forcibly take them and put them up on the podium. You can say no, but you're supposed to speak to the media so then the media can report you. And if you get reported, I think it's a fine or something like that. And we learned that Denzel Mims also, in addition to that thing he did with Connor, he repeatedly said no to the media requests. And when you do that, they're asking you to be there for a reason. They have the story written. Remember what Michael Carter asked them. Do you guys write your stuff the night before? Remember Michael Carter asked them?
Yep.
And they said, yeah, sometimes. They actually said, yeah, sometimes we do. And so they have it written already. And then they're asking for people for a reason because they want to write a certain story and they want you to fill in the quotes. And so if you're telling them no over and over again, they're going to come back on you because they had to get approval for that story. They had to run it by their editor. They had to figure out what they were going to write. They had to figure out the headline. They got everything going. And then you tell them no. And you spoil all of that effort that they did.
See that? You can't look, that's the whole thing. And like, look, when it boils down, like GMs, yes, they're the big boss of the team. But in our history, they're here 3, 4, 5 years and they're gone. Head coach, yep, they're in charge of all the players, but they're here 2 to 4 years and they're gone. And you look at everybody else, and it's like the only people that are still here are us and the media.
And Nathan Shepard.
That's it. And
so Nathan Shepard.
And Nathan Shepard somehow.
Who will be here forever.
Yeah. So let's say hello to a few people. We're going to move into this. We're going to talk about the game a little bit. We'll talk about the offensive line, what we really think is going to happen. Wannabe Beanbagger. What a nice name. I like that. That's a new name. I don't know who you were, but I like it. Great evening, Bean. Great evening, Frankie. Great evening.
Even better than good evening.
I love it. Now, Frankie, somebody threw in there. Is it your birthday, buddy?
Yeah. Today is my birthday. I'm 19 years old today.
Wow. You're driving and everything. Frankie, happy birthday to Frankie from Flatbush. I had no idea. And I'm proud of you, man. Another year. You never know. You never know what's your last year. You made it, buddy. The whole freshie. You're opening a fresh pack a year. So that's good. I see the Buffalo Jet fan in the house. I'll be hanging out with him on Sunday. And we're going to be going to the Coney Island Cyclone on Saturday. I don't know if Buffalo's going to that. But it just reminded me, I see Dom C in there. So hello, Dom. Hello, Buffalo. I also see our good friend Bradigan. Mo Dean is doing his best. He's working hard to try to remind everybody that being negative and unhappy, like what he's worth. I see you in there, Mo Dean. He's trying. He's saying his stuff. Y2K, New York Sports Wicker. We saw the green heart from Jets Forever. Salty Balls is here. John Nolt. Frankie, I'm not sure I mentioned it last week. Salty Balls made me, or not made it, but he bought me a hat. The hat that my dog ate. He went out and found it. It looks like the same hat. And he gave it to Jeremy before he left to come east. So when I go see Jeremy tomorrow, I'm going to grab the hat. Now, Salty Nuts, listen to this. This is real. Do you see? I saw some comments saying Greenbean looks weird without a friggin' hat. Yeah. You know why I'm not wearing one? Complete faith in Salty Nuts Magoo. That's what it is, Frankie. Complete and utter faith in Salty Nuts and Jeremy. I already have a hat. I don't need to bring one. And that's what it is. I'm just riding up there. I'm going to grab this hat. And I'm so incredibly grateful. It's going to be, it touches me, man. I mean that sincerely. And thank you. We got guys like M. Morris. He says, Salah's too optimistic. Nick Dow. I feel like Salah and coaches want Zach to watch the veteran Joe Flacco manage the game and hopefully get more mentally prepared on how to approach the game, kind of like last year when Zach was there. I don't think that's the case. Mr. Nick, I think that's a positive of it, but I think if Zach was healthy, they would much rather have him out here, in my opinion. I don't think they're holding him back for that experiment. I just think that's a derivative. Now, my hope is that Joe Flacco goes out there and Vinny Testaverde's this joint. I want 380, 4 touchdowns. That's what I'm rooting for. Like, look, we have the weapon. The offensive line, like if the offensive line is in shambles, let's say Dwayne Brown doesn't. Don't forget, everybody's like, move Fant over to the left side. Fant's injured too, guys. He's not 100%. So we got to be careful there. So we got Fant, he's a little bit banged up. You got Dwayne Brown, who might not play. Then you got Connor McDermott. Guess what? He's injured. He's dealing with an ankle. So then we're down to Max Mitchell, who a lot of us like, but I think most of us will agree it's a little premature, Frankie. We didn't want to see him so soon. So in the event that happens, my hope is that Mike LaFleur runs this offense to cover that, to compensate for our weaknesses. We happen to have some tight ends. We happen to have some running backs. Let them come in, let them blitz, let them do the whole thing, and just nickel and dime them all day long. That's what I think. Now, Cy Thompson, he says, Dwayne Brown, will he play? Now, Frankie, I'll throw this to you. You know, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't have firm news. What I can say is when guys haven't practiced on Wednesday and Thursday for Saleh, he has never played someone. Never. At least that's what I read. So it's not looking good. Now, that said, I think if Dwayne Brown can play, he will. But Frankie, have you heard? Is he going to play? What do you think? If you had to put $1,000 down one way or the other, what are you betting on?
I would bet no. Thursday is the key day on the injury report. If you're DNP on Thursdays, usually, not always, you don't play on Sunday. So he's 2 DNPs. He didn't play Wednesday, didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice today. We're going to find out tomorrow from Saleh around 10:30. Oh, this is a touchdown for the Bills, 7-0 Bills. Gabe Davis. So all the Gabe Davis truthers get some love right here. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. So we'll find out more from Saleh tomorrow. He has a presser at about 10:30 in the morning. So I'm sure that's going to be question number 1. I mean, so nobody knows, but it's not looking likely. So it's probably George Fant on the left and Max Mitchell on the right. And then we get to see if Max Mitchell, where he's at in his development.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would look at it. And if Max Mitchell has a great game against the Ravens of all teams, for God's sakes, hey, maybe we got something with Max Mitchell. Yeah.
I know, and it's unfortunate that he's, I mean, look, you want to allow a guy. I mean, he's a 4th round pick because he needed some development, particularly in the strength department, right?
Yeah, but welcome to the NFL, Max. Like, this is the NFL. Let's go. Boom. Trial by fire.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there it is. So Cy Thompson, our answer is no. I actually agree with Frankie. I'm hoping. But it's hard to see. And, this is one of those things, like, you guys know I'm a Joe Douglas supporter. I like most of what he's done. I have told you guys numerous times what I don't like. And there are items that I don't like. This is one of them. I don't like, I think that he really gave us minimal effort to cover the tackle positions. And it's like, I mean, yes, you drafted one, we have Fant, you had Becton, but it's like when Becton went down, can you go get Brandon Shell, please? Can you just go get a couple guys? Just go get them. Connor McDermott is hurt. Like, it just like, so look, if Max Mitchell or Fant get hurt, we're talking about AVT. That's what we're doing.
In game. Yeah.
Now, maybe look, Frankie, here's a twist. Here's a twist, Cy. What if they honestly believe that AVT bouncing out to tackle and Nate Herbig coming in and backfilling the guard spot is a better option than any of the tackles out there right now?
How could that be true?
Well, I don't know. What if? Why not?
Well, he's never done it in the NFL. Now, if you're telling me they're cross-training him, so like, here's where the beat reporters could come in handy. Like, if they would learn how to ask a question, here's a question you could ask Robert Saleh. Robert, has Elijah Vera Tucker been cross-trained at tackle in practice ever in the 2 years he's been here? That would be a good question to ask, because If he hasn't, then I would say that, this is an emergency only, break glass, emergency only option. But if he has been cross-trained in practice, then you could say, okay, that's what they've seen. They like it. But it'd be nice to have a beat who could think a little bit deeper than what they do and ask appropriate questions. Or how about why is it that we have to have Nathan Shepard here? They don't have to put it this way, but why is Nathan Shepard taking up a 53-man spot and all these other people, Bobby Massey and Eric Fisher and all these people are sitting at home and they could be on our roster? What about that? That's a good question to ask if you're a beat reporter, I would think.
Yeah, well, look, and that's that's the problem that we have. We have the problem that, they're going for the drama, but we would weather the drama if they actually could ask questions like what we're talking about right now. Could you find that out for us, please?
Yeah, like the AVT cross-training question is a good one.
It's a great question.
Right. The theory would make a lot of sense if we're cross-training him, during practice. If we're not cross-training him during practice and he's never done it at the NFL level, then I'm not buying that idea at all. But we don't know because no one will ask the question.
That's right. And we don't know what they're doing when they close the doors and the press isn't there. They might be using AVT at tackle all day. We don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I'd like to know that.
We don't know. I know. And it's so this is one of those areas, man. Like, I am not okay with the manner in which Joe Douglas took care of the tackle positions since Becton's injury. I was fine, going with Beck. Look, they drafted a guy. We had tackles on the roster and I was fine with that. You know what I mean? But once Becton went down, you had a couple of options. Darrell Williams was out there, Brandon Shell's out there, Eric Fisher's out there, all kinds of guys are out there.
Could have had Jason Peters before the tackle in Dallas got hurt.
Yeah. So you could have done numerous things. They went for Dwayne Brown, which is fine. Pro Bowl last year and all that jazz. They paid him $11 million. So, it's not like he threw, chump change at a loser. He did it. But how about another guy? How about, especially when you're going to cut Chuma and you're going to cut McDermott and you're going to cut all these guys. What about maybe we bump up Grant Hermans or one of these guys? Is he a tackle or a guard? I forget.
He's a tackle. And I was thinking about it.
I thought.
We did get a report from Grant Herman's father that Grant Hermans was having a great camp. Why does Grant Herman's dad have to report that to us, by the way?
Because nobody else cares. So he wants us to know.
None of the beat reporters will give us the information we need. Because then if he really was having a great camp, then why is he on the practice squad and McDermott's on the 53-man? Switch those two. If Grant Hermans is really, coming along, and maybe he is. We don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So this is an area of concern. Now, again, you can have a shit offensive line and still figure out how to compensate for that. You can. The greatest offensive coordinators, they know how to do that. They know how to take their weakness and kind of cover it, for lack of a better term. You know how to do that. And if you have guys, if there's a weak part on your line, you can absolutely cover it up by doing certain things and compensating for it. Now, LaFleur struggled with that last year with our offensive line. We just couldn't seem to not have Greg Van Roten as a weakness. You know what I mean?
But, but maybe this year we don't even have the continuity, but we do have a better line. They're better quality.
Yeah.
So
totally. I mean, look, who's going to argue that Laken Tomlinson's better than Greg Van Roten? I mean, and then, by default, you got AVT and Laken Tomlinson around Connor McGovern. I mean, that's going to elevate his play. It's a natural turn that takes place. The tackles are scary. Fant, we're confident in, but again, he's hurt. And when he's out there at 80%, who knows how likely he is to get hurt? And what happens? What happens in that instance? And that's what I wish we saw some compensation for. M. Morris wants you to start drinking, Frankie. He's going to buy you. He wants. So this is $10 for Frankie's alcohol problem. We'll do that. Well, thank you, M. Morris. And there's a funny thing. Hawk saying, I thought he was Salty Nuts Magoo. He is Salty Nuts Magoo, but he's also Salty Balls McHenry. He's all sorts of things.
We could have multiple. We're multiple here. We're not Jeff Ulbrich, where we just have one thing and we stick with it all the time. We are multiple. We are various.
That's exactly right.
Up, Hawk. Come on now.
I like it. That's exactly right. The creativity knows no bounds, Hawk. None. So, So let me ask you this, Frankie. Joe Flacco, realistically, what are you thinking about this guy? Like, this is his first chance to get a revenge game. He's 35, I think he is 35. He has not had the opportunity to play his team. Do you think that is a positive, or do you think that Harbaugh, who knows Joe Flacco better than anybody, knows exactly what he doesn't play well against? You think it's a weakness in that respect? On which side would you lean if you had to make a choice?
Well, I think Flacco's going to have the advantage Flacco has is all of these improved weapons we've got. No matter what defense they throw at him, Elijah Moore's going to be open. I'm sorry. He just is, because there's three certainties in life, of course: death, taxes, and Elijah Moore being open. So it's going to happen. It doesn't matter if you put Marlon Humphrey on him or Marcus Peters or whoever you want to put on him. He's going to be open. And I have confidence that Joe Flacco is going to find him, because Flacco can process. He's got the mind game. We know that. He has the experience. We don't have to sit there and wait and figure out, can Joe Flacco read a defense? We unlike with Zacco. With Flacco, we know he can do it. So he's going to do it, and then he's going to have Elijah Moore being open. He's going to have these tight ends who are super athletic. I mean, Tyler Conklin, there's a new Jets X Factor video on how amazing Tyler Conklin is running routes, and he's doing whip routes, and he's doing this and that. It's very difficult for a linebacker to cover a tight end who can run a whip route. I don't care who you are. Right. No matter what you do, no matter what defense you dial up, he's going to be open. And I have confidence that Flacco is going to find these people who are open. That in and of itself should open up our running game, because it should weaken the box, and then we get rolling. So I don't know. I think I'm pretty confident in Flacco just because of his mind game. He's going to be able to read the defense, and we have the players now. I mean, think about who we had last year. Keelan Cole. He's now on somebody's P squad. We had a P squatter starting.
Right, and he was a starter for us. Yep.
Yeah. That's a huge difference between him and Elijah and Garrett and Corey and Braxton as the fourth. These guys are going to get open. And so, and then we have the tight ends, and then we got Brees, and then we got Michael. So we have all these weapons, and I think Flacco is going to be able to utilize them. That's what I think.
Yeah, you know what? And I think I tend to lean that way too. Of course, Harbaugh is going to know, look, they gave up on Joe Flacco. They saw him and they said, look, he's done. You know what I mean? So,
well, and they had Lamar. They had Lamar overlap. They had Lamar in practice, and they were like, oh my God, this guy is Superman. Well, and Flacco's getting old and expensive, and we got this kid who's running 10,000 miles an hour. Let's
and they're losing games too. So that's the thing. They're out there losing games. But I tend to agree with you. I think, with the variety of weapons that we have, if I could just feel confident in the offensive line, Frankie, if I just felt, if I just felt confident in the offensive line, I would be really genuinely excited about Flacco and his ability. Dude, all you have to do is manage these guys. You just got to get the ball in their hands. That's it. Yep. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to air it out, 70 yards in the air. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just manage the game. Let Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall and Tyler Conklin do what they do when the ball's in their hands. And so I think Flacco is really, he's an asset right now. And I think I'm really, I'm leaning towards that being a positive. The only problem I have, again, is the offensive line. Now, there's some guy is checking in. What's up, some guy? He says, he should have made a move to keep Moses, even as a backup for Becton. Chances were very slim. Well, the thing is, Morgan Moses didn't want to be a backup. That's why last year remember, we tried to sign him for 2 years, some guy. and he only agreed to one. Specifically because he didn't want to get trapped into a scenario with Fant and Becton and that he wasn't playing and that whole thing. He just took it. He just took the job and he moved on. Now, they paid him not as a premier tackle, but they paid him as a starting tackle. And
they gave him a 3-year deal. I mean, we weren't giving Morgan Moses a 3-year deal, no matter what. And
let me tell you this, Frankie, I'm sure you've seen this too. I watched quite a bit this offseason. I watched quite a bit of last year's offensive line. Morgan Moses was not exactly awesome. Like, he was solid. right?
He had a very high percentage of blown blocks. So
Yeah,
Football
dude.
Outsiders has a stat called blown blocks or something like that. He had some of the highest totals of those.
Right. He was not I mean, would he be a better option right now than maybe Connor McDermott? Yes. I would feel better. Yes. And I'm not going to argue otherwise. But at the same time, man, there was plenty of reason to move on from Morgan Moses. And the truth is, I'm really psyched about seeing our pass rush go against this guy. We might be able to exploit him. Now, whether that's Jermaine Johnson, Jacob Martin, whether it's Michael Clemens, I don't know if they're going to put Michael Clemens on the left side over there. But again, dude, I've seen plays where Morgan Moses was quite literally picked up on his heels. He ran backwards on his heels. I've seen that twice. And those are just the plays I watched. So, I mean, look, again, he's a solid player, but he's their starting right tackle. And if pass rush is going to be our strength, we should be able to exploit this guy, and nothing would make me happier than to see the guy that we let go, see our guys feast upon his carcass, Frankie. Yeah, carcass. I've been waiting to say carcass.
I mean, the obvious move is, even if we didn't want to spend an additional draft pick, there's guys out there, even right now as we speak, who are better than Connor McDermott. So that's the move. I mean, we don't have to get that creative. Sure, we could say maybe we should have taken somebody instead of Rucker, like with that 3rd round pick. We should have taken an additional tackle there, or something like that. You could say that, okay. But let's say we didn't want to spend a pick on it. Oh, well, just go out and get a tackle in the market. It's just money. And what did we redo CJ for then? Why did we redo CJ's contract if we're not going to spend any of it on a tackle or something else? I
know.
It's
I'm
all for
perplexed.
operating costs,
Yeah, I am.
We didn't even get circus clowns, GreenBean.
No, I know. I said, come on, bring a clown, bring some clowns. It's an interesting thing because, again, when you look at a team, general manager during cuts, we cut all the tackles except for Fant, Dwayne Brown, and Max Mitchell. And then, we cut everybody. We cut all the tackles that have been here. Chuma Doga's been here for 4 years. Cut him. He got scooped up immediately. All that kind of stuff. So then he goes and he clears $12 million. It does lead you to believe that there's something in the works. Now, could it have fallen through? Sure. And clearing 12 million is clearing 12 million. It's, even if you roll it over to next year, it's still a positive. But at the same time, like, we have a significant hole right now, or maybe not even a hole, just a concern. And it would be nice to see something done. And even if it's bumping Grant Herman's up. And, look, Joe Conti, the comedian from the Honeymooners podcast, is out there, Frankie. He has been consistently this whole show talking about one Nathan Shepard. He said he's going to be the head coach of the Jets by 2030. He's convinced he has pictures of Joe Douglas naked. He doesn't understand. And you were talking about this earlier. Why not use the roster spot that Nathan Shepard now possesses? I mean, I have to believe guys like him and Ty Johnson, or at least on the bottom end of the roster, you have a need. Why do you think that they won't consider maybe moving Shepard off and bringing in a tackle like an Eric Fisher? So at least we have somebody with NFL experience in there. What do you think's going on? You think there's any possibility of that?
Well, what's confusing is because you could argue with Ty Johnson or Ashton Davis, but we need a 3rd running back and you need a 4th safety. So they're not really taking up a roster spot. But Nathan Shepard is like the 11th defensive lineman. We really do not need him at all. And he's sitting there, and it's not at a position of need, and he's not any good. So all it is, so I think that comes back to Saleh too. If this comes back to bite us, well, you could put it either way. It's, Saleh was banging the table for Shepard. I mean, it's obvious. Like, there's no way our pro scouting team was doing that. There's no way Joe Douglas was doing it. There's one person in the room, 2 if you want to count White Cotton, right, who's banging the table. We got to keep Nathan Shepard on the 53. It's Saleh and White Cotton probably. So if and then
Hmm.
Joe Douglas, has a tough choice then. If I got a head coach who's really banging the table for this guy, what do I do? Because obviously Joe Douglas has the final say, but you want to work collaboratively with your coaching staff. You want to make sure your head coach is happy with the roster that he's got. And if he's really banging the table for Shepard, what do I do? So in this case, Douglas said, okay, we'll keep him. Well, if that comes back to bite us in terms of tackle depth or anything else, and that's the one I would say because the offensive line play is so important. Well, then it's got to come back to Saleh. You were banging the table for this guy to be here.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like Chuma Edoga, I'd kind of rather have Chuma Edoga here
Hell
than
yeah.
Nathan Shepard. He's
I
more
would.
useful.
Yeah, I would. And we're not going to revise history and say Chuma was great, but he has had good games out there, and maybe opening day would be one of those. At least there's that option. Like, we don't have any bodies.
Yeah.
That's the concerning thing. Now, we're going to start to talk about some positives. Now, we're going to move into what we're excited about. Right after Anthony's comment, he says, I don't like Saleh or this coaching staff. I think it's going to be a bust, to be honest. Oh, and by the way, Wilson is a bust as well. You can tell by watching him the way he reads defenses. Well, talking about the first part, what do you think, Frankie? I mean, look, we talked about some concerns with Saleh. The way he talks to the media, he doesn't need to motivate people. He's all gas, no break, the defense. You think that going to see an improved Saleh this year, or are you concerned? Maybe you're not all the way where Anthony is. I know I'm not. I'm not all the way there. I have shared numerous times I'm concerned. Saleh hasn't gotten me on board yet. Joe Douglas, I like what he's doing. Saleh, I'm not there yet, but I don't dislike him yet. Where are you with Saleh, Frankie? Are you concerned? Are you where Anthony is? What do you think?
Well, I'm concerned, but I'm not where Anthony is. I think he's a good coach, and I think the players play for him, and I think he's a great recruiter. Don't forget, this guy recruits like nobody's business. 5 minutes after talking to him, they're like, yes, where's the contract? I need to come there. And Rex Ryan talked. Remember everybody who loves Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan talked to him on the phone after criticizing him. He talks to him on the phone, and then he gets off the phone, and then he goes in the media and says, oh, yeah, Saleh's going to be fine. Don't worry about him. So that's Rex Ryan. And everybody in the NFL said this was a slam dunk hire. Slam dunk. Ian Rappaport. And Ian Rappaport, that's not his personal opinion. Ian Rappaport talks to everybody in the NFL. Everybody. Lottie-dottie. So when he says it's a slam dunk hire, that means everybody he talked to in the entire NFL said this guy is going to be a slam dunk head coach. He's going to be great. Does that mean he's going to be great? No, but I mean that's a lot of endorsements from Rex Ryan to all the players to the entire NFL endorsing this guy. I mean, so now that being said, I think he's got to improve with the media. I think he's learning. And the other thing about it is people like Sean Payton aren't coming here. Okay. Bill Parcells isn't coming back. Like there's nobody out there really who's going to come here to this situation where we've lost for a decade. We're going to have to take our chances, roll the dice on a first timer. We've seen it. Everybody since Parcells has been a first timer, except for Gase. He might as well been a first timer because he stunk. So we have these first time head coaches for a reason. It's because we're not exactly the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens in terms of consistency. So we got to hope these are just growing pains and he's going to, get better at the places he's not good right now. I think he's a good coach. I think he recruits the players well, I think and the players like playing for him. They play hard for him, all that. That's good. But he needs to improve in a couple of spots. And I think, need to be patient because we're not getting Sean Payton. We're not getting,
Well, why do you say that? Like, and just
only
because you brought it up. Only because you brought it up.
Why would he come here?
Why not?
We have a legacy of losing. We stink. We have done nothing for the past 10, 12 years.
But if he looks at the team and he says, wow, this team is pretty stacked.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to the team that has Dak Prescott. Thank you very much. I'm going to go to the team that has a better situation. We don't have a quarterback right now, and we've been losing for a long, long time. I just don't think a guy like that's coming here. I don't think it's realistic. I think there's a reason we have had all these first-timer head coaches. There's a reason for that. And we got to hope this one can work out, and we want it to work out for the long term. It would be beautiful if that were the case.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. We really want it to work out. I think this week was interesting. This was an interesting week for anybody that was like teetering on the fence one way or the other. it was an interesting week. You know, they got a lot of people excited that you were going to have Zach Wilson back, which if you look at my podcast this week, I said, guys, it's not happening. I mean, I didn't think for 1 second that Zach was there. Now, the only problem I had with the whole thing was why even announce it one way or the other? Let the Ravens think it could be either or. Let them. You know, he's progressing. You might let them think, even if they have to spend an hour on Zach Wilson, that's 1 hour that they didn't spend on, that they spent on something that's not going to happen. And that's the chess part of this whole thing. So that was the only problem I had. Just let it roll, man. Game time, Flacco's starting. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. So I didn't like that so much, but I knew Zach wasn't starting. I think a lot of people like the up and down, Frankie, the up and down. And then I think the right hook was, he's not going to be back till week 4. And, it's like, well, I don't, and I'm telling you that because I don't want to talk to you guys about it anymore. It's like, So that was an interesting comment. It was it was a wacky way to say that. And I don't know what it all means, but okay. So that said, when you look at the Ravens depth chart, Frankie, they have a lot of questions. Now, what's going on with J.K. Dobbins? Is this guy going to play? I mean, I read something earlier today. He's looking like he's not going to play.
He's not going to play.
He's not going to play.
I don't think, yeah, it would be, even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%. So, but the balance of likely, and Harbaugh made some comment. I was looking for it right before we came on. Harbaugh made some comment that Country Club Connor was talking about, which made it seem like Dobbins is out. But I couldn't find the exact quote in time. So, but I'm pretty sure Dobbins isn't playing. Ronnie Stanley didn't practice today after being limited yesterday. So now Stanley didn't practice today, Thursday. So that's another guy that may be out or may not be effective. That's their left tackle. That's an important person. And Marcus Peters was still limited today, I believe, their cornerback. So they have injuries of their own.
I saw that. Yeah, so they have a few injuries. Let's bring this up and take a look at it, Frankie. Hold on. I'm gonna show you guys some things here, and you can tell me if it's accurate. Let's take a look, everybody. Let's take a look at this thing over here. Oh, that's pretty big. Frankie, can you read it? Is it big enough to read?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what do you make of this comment that Lamar Jackson's giving them until tomorrow to make to sign a contract? What now, does that mean that he's not going to play? I saw some people saying that it could mean that. That's not where I am with it. I think he's just saying I'm going to play the year, and I'm no longer going to negotiate with you. But what do you think? You think there's any chance that we see Tyler Huntley run out of the tunnel first?
Well, even if we do, Tyler Huntley's pretty darn good. So, but he's no Lamar Jackson. So Tyler Huntley's no slouch either. So it's kind of like last year when people got all excited that Jalen Hurts wasn't going to play against us, and then Gardner Minshew sliced us up left and right. But it's a weird situation with Lamar. He doesn't have an agent. And if he did have an agent, the agent would tell him, you're not stepping foot on the football field until we have a contract. You're not you're not doing anything. And so, but he doesn't. And so no one really knows what Lamar Jackson's up to.
Frankie, and the interesting thing, I listen to, as I listen to Sirius XM in particular. My favorite show is Moving the Change with Pat Kerwin and Jim Miller. And they were talking about this, and they said, one of the dangers of being your own agent is that you're going to hear the negative sides from the team. Well, because they're talking about money and the ability for players to put that aside and just talk business and not take it personal is very, very difficult. And I'm sure they're bringing things up like, well, hey, look, the last 3 years, you've actually declined. Every year you've gone down. Last year you're hurt. So they're bringing that stuff up. So it really could be one of those situations where Lamar Jackson not having an agent could really be mucking up the works here. So if he had an agent and he was just focusing on football, it could be done. But I'm sure there's a lot of personal feelings in the middle of this negotiation. And I think, hey, Even if it takes him out a little bit, he's focused on something else. It could be interesting to see how he responds, because you're 100% correct, man. He goes out on that football field and gets hurt. That could blow everything.
I mean, one of the things I said in my live stream earlier was he might decide he'll play. I don't think he's going to sit out, but he might decide, you know what? If you call a passing play, I'm passing the ball. You know what I mean? I'm not going to see everybody covered and run. I'm going to pass it. I'm not going to put in as much danger, as I might ordinarily. Maybe I will, I'm not going to run around as much, and I'm going to, maybe when I run, I'll go out of bounds more than I ordinarily would. I keep myself safe. Something like that could be more realistic. So,
yeah. So now, how do you feel about Mike Davis here, Justice Hill, Kenyon Drake, their running back stable? What do you? Yeah,
because I was looking at this. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning looking at their schematics. They do weird stuff, man. They do diamond formations. They put 3 tight ends on the field. They will do whatever it takes to run the damn ball. I mean, Greg Roman, we all know, loves to run the ball, and they will do whatever it takes. They'll have 3 freaking tight ends and a fullback on the field. I mean, they do crazy stuff to run the ball. So the running back, to me, it's almost not important. They're going to open up holes. Mike Davis can hit a hole. Justice Hill can hit a hole. I wouldn't be worried about the running backs. But how are you going to deal with these blockers? I mean, they love their tight ends, and they love the fullback. They love big. They love tank personnel. They love it, and they do all kinds of innovative things that way. So that's more of the concern I have. How the hell are we going to counter the Greg Roman crazy blocking schemes? And that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and you guys know, I mean, Greg Roman gets a lot of shit from a lot of people, but the truth is that he is an exceptional offensive mind in the NFL, and he was the guy I wanted them to interview for head coach. He was the guy I wanted, quite frankly. He was. I mean, I had, Mike Campbell, a few guys from college that I had above him, but as far as NFL coordinators, Greg Roman was my guy. And I think that it's very impressive when you look at what he's been able to do, changing an entire offense for different personnel. That's the kind of thing that we haven't seen here. So it's going to be a bare minimum interesting to see how it is that we respond, like Frankie's talking about. Now, guys like Jamie Sherwood and Whitehead and some of these guys, these are our X factors when it comes to the run game. Obviously we're hoping that, Quinnen Williams and JFM can provide some clogging on the line itself, but that's not really their expertise. That's not really their strength. But hopefully they can do that. And guys like Jamie Sherwood and CJ Mosley can actually fill in and stop this running game from being so impactful. And also covering tight ends, because it's going to be interesting. I mean, we have some names out there that we have not really been able to watch yet. Sherwood, Whitehead, obviously the other linebackers, Quan Alexander, Williams, and all these guys. I think that's going to be the make or break, Frankie. I mean, I think our defensive line is going to do well. I think they're going to do well. That's what I think. I think they're going to get their pressure. They're going to do their job pretty well. It's the backfill. It's the linebackers, and then obviously the strong safety being able to come up and mitigate these run plays, and kind of stop the bleeding, stop it at 2 yards as opposed to 6 yards and those kinds of things. I think that's going to be the make or break for this whole entire game, at least as far as our defense is concerned. Now, looking at their offensive line, it says here Ronnie Stanley might not hurt, but Juwan James, how do you feel? How do you feel about that, Frankie?
That's a significant downgrade. I mean,
yeah,
no matter
how
I like
Juwan James, though. I do.
Juwan James may be fine, but he's not Ronnie Stanley. I mean, let's be honest. So that has to be a downgrade. Now, he may play well. May be fine. Got to see. But any way you look at it, that's a downgrade. Ronnie Stanley is a very high-level tackle, but he hasn't been getting over that ankle for 2 years now. So I don't know what's going on with this ankle. We get upset because Dwayne Brown hurt his shoulder mysteriously. How did Dwayne Brown hurt his shoulder, by the way? I'd like to know. We're not even doing anything, and this man's getting injured. What was he doing?
I think he got here hurt. That's why he was still out there.
I think he was lifting too much weights. He was probably grunting in the weight room with Nathan Shepard, trying to impress Saleh with his grunting, and he grunted too much and hurt his shoulder. But this guy Stanley, he's been out. I mean, been 2 years with this ankle. So we think we're snake bit. What about Ronnie Stanley? This is a really good player.
And let's see. I mean, maybe we put Michael Clemens over there. He's the left tackle. We put Michael Clemens and say,
deal with this maniac. With your
that's right. Hey,
ankle.
Michael, you have one job today. Remind him that his ankle is not good.
Yeah.
To remind him that he needs both ankles to stop you.
Or Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson would be fine.
Oh, Carl Lawson too. I forgot all about him. Thank you, Frankie.
Show Daddy Lawson how it's done, Carl. Let's impress Daddy in the stands. Let's get psyched up.
So, all right, guys. Well, listen to this. For the second hour, I want to let you guys know we have one New York Jets ticket for the home opener available. One more ticket. Now, you'll be sitting with another person who received a ticket from the fund. So you'll have it's not like you're just a solo ticket. You're going to be with, sitting with somebody. That's also very grateful to have one. But we have one ticket left. The fund is all but dried up, Frankie. We got 5 people to the game, and we have one ticket courtesy of one Dom C. Dom C throwing us a ticket. So I want to tell you guys what we're going to do, just like Ryan's Talking Jets panel. For let's say every 10 likes, we're going to pick a person. We're going to pick somebody from the crowd here, and we're going to try to see who we can give it to. And but you know what? I don't know. I'm going to have to do this. Maybe, I'll do it that way. So just like the video. For every 10 likes, I'm gonna pick up a qualifier, and we'll see who can win the ticket. Hopefully, one of you guys really wants to go, and you're just a ticket away from going, and we're gonna give it away to you tonight, and we'll have a good time, and you can come meet us at the tailgate and the whole thing. It's gonna be a great day. We're gonna look, man. I'm telling you right now, we're winning this game. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a good time. Don't worry. Don't worry, man. It's all about pass rush, and that's what we got. Pass rush and cornerbacks, and Jamien Sherwood, of course. Jamien Sherwood. I'm really high on this Jamien Sherwood guy, Frankie. I think Salah's love for him is going to be supported by what we see on the field. Quan Alexander was a really good signing, but I was really emboldened by his preseason. I thought he looked fantastic, and I think having a linebacker, a nice young linebacker to pair with CJ Mosley out there can make or break everything. Man, when you have a good linebacker, the run game is impacted by those guys. CJ Mosley, we already know what he is, but Jamien Sherwood, man, I feel real good, and I think that's going to be the X factor. Jamien Sherwood, everybody. You heard it here first. Okay, so for every 10 likes, we'll get a qualifier, and we'll give away a ticket to one of you lucky bastards in just a little while. Iowan Jetsfan checking in. He is the first recipient of the fund getting somebody to the game this weekend. He says, listening while packing. Happy birthday, Frankie. Everyone should donate to the fund, and I'll see you all this weekend. Yeah, the fund is kind of tapped. We think we got like $20 in donations in the last week. So it's kind of done. We're hoping to be able to get this couple to game 3 against the Bengals. We have the 2 tickets, and we have, I think, 1 airfare covered. So if you guys want to donate and help us get these Missourians over to their first ever Jets game, that would be great. So look, Frankie, we have some stuff going on in the game here. I saw that there was a fumble by what's his name? What's their running back again? Starts with a P. What the hell's his name? The running back for
the Bills running back was James Cook out of the draft. He fumbled. But then Stafford threw a terrible interception. What is Matt Stafford doing? Stafford doesn't look too good so far. Maybe his elbow's hurting.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, it's week 1. Anything can happen week 1, man. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. People are rusty. People are nervous. People are weird. The timing's off. All that kind of stuff happens. Later in the season, these guys are firing on all cylinders, but week one, anything can happen. And that's what we're counting on, Frankie. We are counting on a little anything. That's what we need. Let's see. I just saw something. John Hepburn says, I expect CJ Mosley to come out on fire. Frankie, we're not talking about that enough. This is his first opportunity to play his former team as well. As you know, Mike McCagnon came in and wooed CJ Mosley away with a $17 million contract when linebackers were getting $10 million a year. He came in and offered him crazy, crazy money. And this is I think he might be a man possessed as well, Frankie, somebody who's really looking to make a statement against this particular team. How impactful do you think CJ Mosley will be in this game?
Well, CJ Mosley is always impactful for us. He's the captain of our defense. Every single game he comes out with fire. But I do think he'll look at it like, man, if this defense can show out against this team, against a team that is very well coached with an elite quarterback and all the things they do, well, maybe we've arrived. And I think CJ Mosley wants to be on a defense that has arrived. Like, he's not getting any younger. He didn't take a pay cut, but he did a restructure. He wants to be here. We love him. He loves us. But now it's time to be good. And I think he really wants to be on a defense that's dominant again, like he was with the Ravens, because who wouldn't? He's the captain. He doesn't want to be the captain of a sinking ship. He wants to be the captain of a beautiful big ship that never goes down ever. And so it's a great test. And I think he's going to be excited just because it's the Ravens, and it's a fantastic test. If we play well against these Ravens, well, we might actually have something. But, the fact of the matter is that, that's the way it goes. And Sherwood, if Jamian Sherwood can be our Fred Warner, that'd be something. I was looking at the 2019 49ers, GreenBean. I don't know if you recall that team, but that team was had a DC named Robert Saleh. So I was looking at them, and they played the Ravens. And did you know in that game, there's a player that's currently on our defense, a player who had a forced fumble and recovered the fumble against Lamar Jackson. Do you know who that player is?
Robert Saleh jumped on the field and did it.
Nope.
Who was it? It was Naquan Alexander.
Nope. Anybody in the chat? Anybody?
What do we got?
Little early trivia. I beat Watcher K to the trivia. Jets Forever says Solomon. Nope. Tigo got
there
it.
He is. There's
Tigo got it.
What do you say?
Marcel Harris was on the field a lot in that game and played well. And he had a forced fumble and recovered the fumble. Basically took it right out of Lamar's hands. He said, "Give me that." So, there's a guy with experience. No one's talking about him. He might have some kind of a minor role in this game. But, the thing about that defense is that Fred Warner is really the key to it. Like, you have to have a Fred Warner type to run what we run. So maybe that's Sherwood. I don't know. It'd be nice. We need one. And if it's Sherwood, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the thing. If a guy like Sherwood, who obviously Saleh has, he's invested in, right? We used a mid-round pick on him last year. It was a fourth rounder. So we used a mid-round pick on him. We changed his position, and Saleh went out and said numerous times that he's a player, he belongs, all those things, but we didn't really get to see him too much. We kind of watched him fumble around and first couple weeks, and then we lost him for the year. So we haven't been able to really see him. But this preseason, and look, it's preseason, but this preseason, he looked good. He looked like a sure tackler. He was good in coverage, and that's what you want to see. And hopefully he's the guy that can come out and be a real player for us. Because like Frankie said, CJ Mosley, we already know what he is. He's on fire. He's going to play 100 miles an hour. Every single play. He's going to do that, but he needs help. Now, I feel the same way about Quinnen Williams. Now, Quinnen Williams, Frankie, is going to be It's he's going to be where is it? Right guard Kevin Zeitler and Tyler Linderbaum are going to be tasked with handling a motivated Quinnen Williams. What do you expect from him in this game, Frankie? Do you think we're going to finally see the bar of soap, so to speak? You think we're going to see this, or is Quinnen Williams going to be neutralized by these two fellas?
Well, it depends. I hate to say it depends, but it depends. But they probably will double team Quinnen. And that means that if JFM's playing the other 3 tech or whoever it is, Solomon, that person then has to win his matchup against Ben Powers, whoever that is. So, that has to be the case. And if they decide to not do that, then Quinnen has to win. And even on some double teams, Quinnen has to win. Quinnen has to be dominant. His entire pedigree is that this is a dominant player. He was supposed to be the number 1 player in the entire draft that year. Number 1. And we haven't seen it. We've seen a good player, nice player, lovely fella. We like him a lot. But we have not seen dominant Quinnen, and that's what I want to see. He's supposed to be a 300-pound bar of soap. That's what he's supposed to be. Try blocking that, even with 2 people. At Alabama, he was beating double and triple teams, this guy.
Yep.
So that's what I want to see. And so even if they double team him, I want to see him in the back. I want to see TFLs. For me, I like TFLs,
I love TFLs. The sacks get all the hoopla, but right. TFLs are fantastic.
TFLs are sexy, man.
They are. I love it. And that's the whole thing. Like you said, if they're going to double team, if they're going to put Linderbaum and Zeitler on Quinnen, JFM, Solomon Thomas, Nathan Shepard, they have to be able to capitalize on that. If you got Michael Clemens out there, you got Carl Lawson, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got Jacob Martin, you got all these guys out there. If you're utilizing 2 guys to stop one, you have to be able to capitalize on that. And the good news is, I think we're finally looking at a group of guys, Frankie, that just might be able to do that. I mean, we have a nice rotation. If I felt confident in Jeff Ulbricht, I'd feel really good about this defense versus their offensive line, especially if Ronnie Stanley is banged up and, like you said, like going out there with Juwan James. I happen to like Juwan James, but he's not Ron Stanley. And so if they're a little banged up on the offensive line, we can actually capitalize on that too. And once you do that, disrupting the whole play is key. And I think, again, I just wish I had full confidence in Jeff Ulbricht, because if I did, I'd feel really good about our defensive line versus their offensive line. I don't know how you feel, Frankie, but I think this is one of those areas that I feel pretty good.
Well, I think one thing to watch is how creative are we going to be, really. But even in that game in 2019 with Saleh as the DC, they were creative. So in other words, they had 6 people on the line. They had 7 people on the line. They were doing blitzes. They were, it wasn't simple vanilla. So I am hopeful that we're not just going to be simple vanilla cover 3 all day. If we are, I'm going to lose my freaking mind, and and Lamar Jackson will just bink, 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 just like Desmond Ridder, just like Marcus Mariota all day long, and kill us with those tight ends. So we better not be in cover 3 all day long with our 4 people rushing and never bringing any pressure and blitzing and amoeba fronts and changing it up. We need to be very creative in this game. And if Lamar Jackson beats us, with all these exotic blitzes and amoeba fronts and this and that, then you tip your cap and you say, good job, Lamar. Hey, we tried our best. But if we just bring 4 people all day and sit back and cover 3 and think that's going to get it done, it's not going to get it done. And I'm going to lose my freaking mind. I'll tell you that right now. So that's something to watch. How many people are, like, if you're just watching the game at home, the line of scrimmage, how many people are on it? Is it 4? Is it 5? Are we sugaring the A gaps? What are we doing? Let's get some people up there to confuse the hell out of them so they don't know what the heck we're doing. That's something to watch. If it's 4 all the time, every single time, then the likelihood of us being successful is very low.
And that's the whole thing. That's like, when we looked at our defense last year, much of the time it was like standard. It was just, we do what we do.
Simple vanilla.
Yep. So when we looked at it this, when we looked at it this preseason, the scary part was that everybody, holy shit, it's the same. It's the same. No, what are we doing?
Right.
And, hopefully they have something else in store. But here's my concern, Frankie. And Robert Saleh, this is another rub I have. He has got, now they asked him this last year with James Morgan. They said, hey, you think Matt Rule is signing James Morgan because he can give away your playbook? And he said, I don't think, why would anybody do that? We would never do that. Something to that effect. Well, guess what happened this year? In the event, our defensive mind, our brain trust has something in store to like open up a whole different thing. It's going to look creative and different. The Ravens signed Del'Shawn Phillips. So they went over there and they made it a priority to at least sign, like, look, we're talking about practice squad. We're, bottom end of the roster kind of guys. They made a point to bring over a Jet. And I wish we would see the Jets do some things like that. Like, Robert Saleh, again, he says, we don't think like that. That's not who we are. We don't need to do that. Well, I think it's pretty good chess playing to just grab the guy and go, hey, man, what are they going to roll out on us? So Del'Shawn Phillips is in the Ravens camp right now. He's been with us for the last 2 years. So if we are going to roll out something sneaky, something a little bit creative, the Ravens now know about it, which is unfortunate. So I don't know. Even if we do have something in store for us, Frankie, it's going to be the Ravens already know about it. What do you think of that? Do you make anything about them signing players and all that jazz?
Well, not really. I mean, think about the real situation. Either he's going to go there and tell them, "Hey, guess what, guys? They love cover 3 and quarters," and the Ravens are going to go, "Yeah, we watched the film. We know that they love cover 3 and quarters." Okay, what? So, thanks, Del'Shawn. Like you really, or he's going to say, "Oh, they're planning to do more man coverage." Well, they can identify man coverage very easily by putting someone in motion. And if we're dumb enough to play man against the Ravens, well, then Lamar Jackson's going to have about 10,000 yards rushing because as soon as he sees their back turn, he goes, bye-bye, see you later.
Right.
And it's going to be, so we're not going to be in man. So then you go, okay, well, what if we do pattern matching? Okay, we're going to do pattern matching. Perfect. Well, and Del'Shawn's going to tell them they're going to do pattern matching. Okay, well, even if you tell them we're doing pattern matching, you don't know how we're going to pattern match. And nobody really knows, even the defense, before the snap, who they're covering. So if the defense doesn't know, you could know they're in pattern matching, but you don't know who's matched up on who, how it's going to work. So it kind of doesn't matter if no matter what he tells them, it's it's sort of irrelevant. The way I see it.
Yeah, I think it's still, well, look, and those are good points, but I think, knowing what the Jets are going to come out in, what their tendencies are, like look at our defense last year, it was very, very vanilla. It was very, very standard. It just kind of, we left lots of space and we didn't really adjust very often. Look, we can get our ass kicked in the first half. You think we'd make some adjustments and tighten up? Nope. Come out the second half. It looks exactly the same. So if in the event we are changing things up from what we saw last year in the preseason, it's just, the Ravens have an idea if that's the case.
And I just hope I just hope there's variance. Like, you could be man sometimes. I mean, you can be in cover 3 occasionally, but let's mix it up, mix it all up. So nobody knows exactly what the hell we're doing at any given time. That's the way I would look at it.
Yeah. So talking Jets with Tigo's here. What's up, Tigo? He says he wants the Statue of Liberty on the first play, Frankie. What would you do? You thinking now? I saw, actually it was on your show, Dylan. Dylan over at Jetnation. They had a show from 7 to 8 tonight. Very good with him and Glenn Naughton. And they were talking about how many trick plays you think LaFleur is going to pull out. You think he's going to rely on trick plays? You think he's going to do it early, or you think that's going to be something he sprinkles in? Not something that he relies upon. How do you see it, Frankie?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to rely upon trick plays. I mean, no, that would be foolish. But if they see something in the defense that they like, that they have something for, then they'll run it. If not, you only run they call them creatives. They don't call them trick plays, but you only run they only run a creative if you really need to. So if our offense is rolling and we're running our normal 11 and 12 and running our normal plays, well, then you just keep running them. There's no need to take a chance on a creative or a trick play. But if they're stuffing us all the time, we can't get anywhere, and we think we have something that might beat what they're doing, yeah, they might call, but it just depends on how good the regular offense is doing.
Yeah, well, that's what I hope too. I mean, I get nervous when the only positive plays that we end up having end up being these wackadoodle craziness. And it's one thing to throw them in; it's another entirely to have that as part of the offense. Now, I'm a big fan of the flea flicker. I love me a good flea flicker, and I can't deny I lost my marbles when they did the hook and ladder last year. But again, I don't really want to see that stuff. I want to see us when it all boils down, Frankie. What I really want to see is a ball control offense that keeps their offense off of the field for stretches of time, 6 to 8, 10-minute drives, nice and long, with some points at the end. That's key. I want to see some points at the end of the drive. But, I want to see the utilization of the tight ends. I want to see the utilization of short routes, high percentage routes. That's what I want to see. And I want to see our running game have an impact. I don't, in preseason, it didn't look too good. Let's just be honest here. Now, granted, we're all over the place with our offensive line and all this sort of stuff. So they're probably going to need a minute. But I think that if we can keep the Ravens defense on the field for a little while, that's going to be the thing that bodes well. And I think it'll be the most impactful, quite frankly. I mean, you don't want to be going up and 3, down and 3, and putting Lamar Jackson back on the field. So they go down there, they keep our defense on the field for 9 minutes, and then they kick a field goal. And then we go out there, and 3 plays later, it's punt. And they go out there for 8 minutes, and they score a touchdown. That obviously, but this is what we don't want to see. By the end of the game, we're going to be shot. Have no chance. We must control the ball, time of possession. If we can do that, I think we're going to have a good chance to win this game. It's keeping their offense off the field, keep the ball in our hands, and that's what I'm hoping to see LaFleur actually focus on. I want to see a concentrated effort, a concerted effort is what I'm looking for. Concerted effort to actually playing a ball control offense. I don't want to go out, first and second down, 25-yard plus plays. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Stop it. Just slow it down. Use our tight ends. Use our running backs. Use Elijah Moore. Let these guys get open in, right around the 8 to 10-yard mark. Give it to them. If they can turn it into a 40-yarder, fantastic. But let's just nice high percentage plays, quick routes, and take care of it that way. That's what I'm hoping to see, Frank. I don't want to see Lamar Jackson on the field all damn day. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to just line up and punch him right in the mouth.
Punch him in the mouth. That's right, Frankie.
That's it.
Well, outman them.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
We don't need trick plays and this, that, and the other thing. Let's just play football and win at that. Like, let's kill this offensive line. Let's block this defensive line, and let's move the ball and control the ball. I mean, just simple stuff. Can we see a real team? So we'll see. And it's a great test. If we do it, boy, we'll really know something about this team. Now, looking at the roster, it could happen, but we haven't seen it. So we have no idea.
We really don't.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about it. But looking at it on paper, it looks good. Now we have to see them go and do it. And if we can do it against this Baltimore Ravens team, that will be fantastic, because that will mean maybe, just maybe, we've got something close to a quality NFL roster.
Oh my goodness. And that, you're so funny too. It's like, yeah, we haven't seen, guys, we really don't know what the hell we're about to see. It's crazy. We really don't know. Now, Flacco, we don't even have Zach Wilson. I think, Frankie, next to the Browns, I think we're the only team in the NFL that doesn't have their starting quarterback going into week 1. Isn't that fun? Isn't that nice?
That's just the way we roll. Whether it's Zacco or Flacco or Mike Mother effing Blanco, doesn't matter.
Zacco or Flacco, doesn't matter, because Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore are here next to Tyler Conklin. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. So Iowan checking back in. He wants to make sure that everybody knows the ticket that we give away is a solo ticket. That is correct. But we already gave away the ticket next to it, Iowa. That's what I think we gave it to that guy, Mark. I think that's how it goes. Now, this ticket, oh, maybe not. No, you're right. This is a truly solo ticket. Thank you for the clarification. I mixed it up. We have so many damn tickets that we've given away these past couple of weeks. So anyway, if you want to go to the game, we have a ticket. We're getting down to the wire. If you were just teetering on it, yeah, I can't go. I can't swing a ticket. We have one for you. Go ahead and like the video. For every 10 likes, we will pick a qualifier and we'll do it that way. And we'll see if you actually want the ticket. You know what my concern is with this, Frankie, is that I go ahead and somebody wins and they go, yeah, I don't want it.
Well, not everybody wants to be a winner.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Maybe we'll switch it up a little bit. For every 10 likes, I will pick some. I'm going to ask the chat if you want the ticket. And then all the names that actually want it, we'll add one new one. One of you guys that wants it, we'll add one for every 10 likes. How's that sound? I think I'm zeroing in on something here, Frankie.
Yeah.
Sneakers to Boots, never been so positive and negative at the same time. Sneakers to Boots is very bipolar tonight, Frankie. What is going on? Do you feel similarly? Do you understand? Do you relate? Super positive and super negative at the same time. What do you think of that, Frankie?
Well, I'd also like to say hello to Aaron Butler in the chat. So the Ravens fan, the Ravens bot is here. So just so you know, GreenBean, the Ravens bot is here.
I see him.
It's good to have Aaron Butler here. But Sneakers to Boots, yeah, it's like we don't know what we have. Sneakers to Boots, right? It looks good on paper, but we didn't see anything in preseason. I mean, we saw some things, but we didn't see the offensive line together. We didn't see all the defensive players together, really. Lawson played like a series or two and was all hyped up, and so we don't really know what we have here. We like what we have here on paper, but we got to see it. And so yeah, it's another pick. So Josh Allen's been picked off twice, but otherwise has played a really good game. Interesting game. Minute 52 left in the first half. Josh Allen with his second pick. So but otherwise, he's like 17 out of 20, the completion percentage, and he's got 2 picks. It's crazy.
So how's our boy Jamison Crowder looking? Does he have any?
Well, that's impact? The guy they were throwing to right there, and he got picked. Now Crowder, it's not Crowder's fault, but Allen just made a bad throw. Well, not even that bad. This is a great play by the defensive player, I think. But Crowder's on the field. He is playing. There was talk Crowder might get cut earlier. I was like, man, love to have him on our practice squad.
Yeah, take him back in a second. Yeah, but Y2K says Crowder has 1 catch. Oh, that's what he has.
All right.
So all right, let's get this depth chart off the. So looking at their defense real quick. Who scares you here, Frankie? Calais Campbell. Very, very solid. I think, it sucks that we don't have, I really wish we just had a left tackle. You know what I mean? So I can go. It's just, we don't know what the hell's going on. What do you think? Who scares you?
Odafe Owe is a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all. Second of all, Calais Campbell's always a pain in the neck, even though he's 100 years old. He's big, tall, strong. He's just a pain in the neck. And then third of all, their linebackers are okay. Their defensive backs are amazing. Marlon Humphreys, excellent. Marcus Williams, excellent. Marcus Peters, if he's healthy, excellent. Chuck Clark, very good. So their defensive backfield is excellent. But the other thing is that their scheme is better than the people. Like, they're going to have 3 down linemen. Then they're going to have a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And that is better than the individual players. But individually, Calais is always a pain in the neck. Odafe Owe is a guy who's improving and becoming a monster. Patrick Queen, very solid linebacker, and all of their defensive back people are very, very good. So it's a scary defense. There's no doubt, no 2 ways about it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I really like Patrick Queen too, and he's still young.
Yeah.
And he can still be on the ascend. I mean, truth be told, we just need to utilize our young talent to their strengths. Frankie, you hit on something there, I think is just one of the most important things. The system is better and stronger than the individual players are. When you have a successful system in place, that's when you can lose a guy, bring a guy in, and not see much drop off. When you're dependent on high level, like two crazy guys to make all the impact. It's about the system. You have to install a system that is functional and that your coaches know how to implement, know how to utilize in the right ways to cover certain things that might be deficiencies and to accentuate strengths and all that. And that's what they have. Hopefully that's what we're really, that's what we need here. We've been changing coaches for so long. We haven't had the opportunity to do that. And hopefully we can get there. Cause I agree. The Ravens, that's what they have, man. It's the uniformity,
Yeah. I mean, one thing I worry about, if you think about the 2019 49ers, that's who we're trying to be, right? Like that's Robert Saleh's dream team, right? They have all those defensive linemen. They have Fred Warner. They have Jimmy Ward. They have Richard Sherman. And my concern is, do we need to have Nick Bosa here for this thing to be successful? Do we need Fred Warner? Fred Warner, for those who don't know, was all pro one that year. I mean, he's just a superstar linebacker. Like not CJ Mosley, very good. We love him, but CJ Mosley now is not all pro one. But Fred Warner was, and Bobby Wagner was back in Seattle when Saleh was in Seattle. So do we need to have the Earl Thomases and the Richard Shermans and the Bobby Wagners and the Fred Warners for our defense to work, and the Nick Bosas? Nick Bosa doesn't come around very often. Maybe Carl Lawson can kind of play the role of Nick Bosa maybe. But Nick Bosa is elite. And if we need, and they also had other elite defensive linemen, all first-round picks and all. Do we need to have that type of personnel for this defense to work? Because if that's the case, that's not really a recipe for success. I'd rather do it similar to what the Ravens do. You get a Calais Campbell, fine. If you don't get Calais Campbell, you get someone else and he can play the role. You have people who can do the things you need to do to make the entire defense good, even if they're not superstars in and of themselves.
Yeah, and look, that's what you see with the great teams. Like when you see teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like the New England Patriots, even though Belichick will change it, it's the organization themselves. That's where the focus is. The focus is building the system, and then you can have interchangeable pieces. You get guys that fit that mold. You're developing guys, and that's the thing. As much as I'd like to say, this year, it's a huge year for Saleh, and I think it is. I don't think anybody's on the hot seat. I don't think it's anything like that, Frankie. I think they want to take a shot here at having that, 4 or 5 years of these guys trying to do everything they can, learning the hard way, in the fire, with how to implement their system and keep this going, rather than switching gears. I was talking to somebody earlier. They said, if Saleh comes out and, 0-4, he might get fired mid-season. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I would probably feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I think that they're really craving what the Ravens have, which is long-term system in place. That's what you want.
And that's why I'm saying, if we come out and we just are simple vanilla, if we're in cover 3 all day, rushing 4 and not doing anything else on the defensive line, I'm going to be very concerned about our long-term success, because that's not what you're supposed to try to do here. What you're supposed to try to do here is blitz and confuse Lamar and make it hard to tell what we're doing, disguise and change it up and things of that nature. And that's because that's what good coaching does. Right. And if all we are is just cover 3 and rush 4 all day long, and that's what we are, I just don't think that's a formula for success. Now, I don't think that's what we're going to do, but if we do, I would not be happy about that. And so we'll have to see how it goes, but that's what I'm looking for, and you could say it's systematic, right? Because a 3-4 is, if you think about a 3-4 versus a 4-3, the 3-4 is more transmutable. What do you want to say? Changeable. Like you can change it at any time. You have 3 down linemen. Now I bring a lineman to the line. Now I have 4 down linemen.
Yeah, right.
It's a 4-3 now. Boom. Now I'm a 5-2. Now I'm a 6-1. Now I'm da-da-da-da. It's a lot more changeable, you could say, or adaptable to whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, but I think you can still do a lot with the 4-3. I mean, you can back guys out. You see it all the time.
But will we? You could put 2 linebackers in the A gaps. There's no rule against it. Like, let's put linebackers in the A gaps and make Lamar figure out are they coming or are they not coming? You can do it, but last year we did not do a lot of that, and that's what I'm going to be watching.
You saw them putting defensive ends in coverage. You saw them dropping back. They were lined up on the end. You saw a lot of that.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's actually interesting. That's like a fire zone dropping scheme, and if we do that, that's fine. But you have to bring extra linebackers from the other side. Like the reason you do that is to make them think they're blocking, say, Quinnen. By the way, Quinnen did that one time in this preseason. They dropped him out into coverage. And you do that. But if you do that, you're trying to make them have nobody to block on this side and then overload the other side. That's the idea with that. And just have that guy in coverage to cover a little bit of zone so that the quarterback can't quickly get rid of it. So that's what you're trying to do. So if we do that, then those people on the other side have to get home. Like you can't have Matty Ice stand there and find Kyle Pitts in the corner with JFM trying to cover him. That's not what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is Matty Ice is supposed to be on the ground. And that didn't happen. He said, I know what you're doing. Boom. See you later. Good night.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the problem, right? And look, not for nothing. That's kind of what we're hoping that Joe Flacco can bring. It's that wisdom. Yeah. It's that aged wisdom that you get from being in the NFL for a long time. If they see one thing, okay, well, this is, I'm going to take that. Where a young quarterback, like we watch Sam Darnold, we watch now Zach Wilson, the young guy might not be able to identify that yet. And that's kind of the thing. That's one of the positives that Joe Flacco brings. Again, we don't need him to be MVP Joe Flacco. We need him to manage the talent on the team. We need him to get the ball to his playmakers. That's it. If we
get rid of the ball 2.5 seconds.
That's right. And if we do that, guys, we have a legit shot here. Like that's all we need to do. Smart football. Smart, calm, ball control football, and then you let Michael Clemens do what he does, and we'll go from there. Now, Paris, Frankie, I'm really curious to your thoughts here. Robert Saleh's Jets last year always, and I wouldn't say always, but more times than not, came out flat, particularly on offense. Right, we struggled first quarter. I think we had 10 games we didn't have a first quarter first down or some shit like that. Remember that last year? It was crazy. That has to change. Now, I agree with what Paris is saying, but let me ask you, Frankie, do you think, do you expect to see differently? What's going to change here? Because that is a huge disadvantage, coming out and having to overcome that flatness from the word go. What do you think is going to go on here?
Well, this is something that people say, like I make this is akin to when like a baseball team, isn't hitting, and then the fans will say they got no fire, they got no enthusiasm, they came out flat. It's like, no, they just stink. Like they're not hitting. They can't get a hit. They can't hit a home run. It's the same thing with this. We didn't come out flat. We just stunk. We could not play. We had terrible people on our team from off the street and practice squatters and people like that trying to play. We had Keelan Cole as a starting, wide receiver. He's on somebody's practice squad now. That's his level of quality. So when you have that and you can't play and you stink and your offensive line hasn't come together and you have Greg Van Roten and everybody's trying to learn, it seems like you're flat, but really you just stink. You just stink. That's what it was. It wasn't for lack of trying. It wasn't the effort level. It was the execution, the quality. We stunk. And hopefully this year we don't stink. That's the idea. And if we execute better, people will say, wow, they really came out on fire. Yeah, because we have better people who executed better. And, then we'll look better. It'll be more enthusiastic. There'll be more celebrations, more jumping around in the end zone. And everybody will say, look how enthusiastic you're going to be when you're 3rd and 10 and it's incomplete. And here comes the punter. Right? Nobody's going to be enthusiastic. You're going to jog off the field and you're going to say, these guys have no enthusiasm. Well, they have nothing to be enthusiastic about. They stink.
And that's a pretty good point. But I think, an energy level too, like sometimes you could see it, just kind of, they just look blah. Now, what do you think about this whole thing? And then, in about 2, 3, 10 minutes, we're going to bring Watu K. I see Jeremy just popped in. I thought Jeremy was already in transit. Aren't you there, Jeremy? You didn't leave yet? Oh, I thought you were on the plane. I thought you said you got first class and everything else. Maybe I'm wrong. So we'll bring those guys on in a second. But Frankie, now that I forgot what I was going to ask you, let me see here.
This is a good point. This is a good point by John Hepburn. Just play point guard. This is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is the thing I couldn't figure out about Zach Wilson. That's all we need Zach Wilson to do. And guess what? He was a point guard in high school. So I was always thinking like, well, Zach, just be the point guard that you've always been in basketball. Just translate it to football. Just get it to this guy and that guy. But that's right. What John said, just be the point guard, just distribute.
That's it. And if we can do that, like, guys, I want you to know, like, that's how simple this game plan should be. It's obviously we have talent in Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, even Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios. We have talent there. And the tight ends, there's talent there. Our running backs, there is legit talent there. All we have to do is give Joe Flacco 3 seconds, and he's just got to get it to those guys nice and calm.
3 seconds max.
That's it. That's all we need to do. If we do that, that's a ball control offense. Like I've told you guys numerous times, 4 yards wins the game. You get 4 yards every play, you win. That's the way it goes. And it's time to start thinking that way. Sure, look, if Elijah Moore, he catches a 6-yard pass and turns it into a 58-yard touchdown, yeah, we're going to be happy. But you don't need to do that. 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, touchdown. That's the way it goes. Now, so Paris is talking about this, and I see Echeverry is also talking about 12. The Jets should play 2 tight ends if the pass blocking run game goes crap. Well, how about this? How about just the way that they start, Frankie? Like, clearly we have some question marks with our tackles. Again, Fant is a little banged up. We don't know this story with Dwayne Brown. It doesn't look like he's going to play. So you have McDermott, but he's also banged up. What about just bringing the tight ends out there from the get-go, adding to the pass protection, and then obviously they can peel off, a little 6-yard outlet for Joe Flacco. What do you think about starting in 12 and maybe even going 12 heavy for the whole game?
Yeah, well, one thing I can guarantee you, we're going to be in 11 and 12 95% of the time.
Well, 11, yeah.
So and that's different though from last year. If you remember, last year in the preseason, we did a lot of 21 personnel. And then we tried it early in this, and I said, I wonder if they're going to do this in the regular season. And then we tried it in the regular season, and it didn't work, and it stunk. And then we went back to it once we got bought in later in the year. So this year in the preseason, it's been almost exclusively 11 and 12. So we're going to be in 11 and 12 the whole game. Now, how that's going to parse itself out is going to probably be dependent on how things are going. But we are going to play a lot of 2 tight ends. We're going to be in 12 a lot. I think. I don't see any reason why not. I mean, 11's better because it gets Garrett Wilson on the field, but because in 12, it's going to be Elijah and Corey.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it could be Corey and Garrett. I mean, you can do any variation of that. Well, yeah, but
mostly, for the most part.
Yeah. And that's what Echeverry's talking about 12. He says, look, that it obviously limits the offense. But again, whatever's going to work. And look,
really. Listen, not really. Not with these guys. Yeah, when you have Tyler Kroft and Ryan Griffin, yeah, it limits the offense. Not when you have these guys. I mean, Tyler Conklin is an athletic son of a gun. And CJ Uzama is a 6'6" giraffe that you put out there, and good luck cornerbacks trying to tackle him. So it's not like our receiving options are dead because you put them in because they're not athletic. That's not the point now. We can actually use them, and you can split them out wide. You can do anything you want with them. And, and we will, I think. That's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Well, and the good thing, guys, is, let's not forget, a game plan for one team doesn't necessarily have to be the game plan for another team. What I want to see is the Jets actually prepare and implement a scheme that best responds to the team in front of them. If they have a weakness here, remember a couple of years ago, we played the Bengals. They were winless. And They had the worst run defense in the NFL up the middle. They couldn't stop anybody. So what did Gase do? Sweeps.
The legend of Adam Gase.
And they stopped us, and we ended up losing and blah, blah, blah. So I think, it's really important to be able to, game plan for the team you're playing and whatever you need to do. And if right now we're unsure about our pass protection, dude, get those tight ends in there, get Uzoma and Conklin and Rucker, get those guys in there. And like Frankie said, that doesn't mean you don't have pass catching outlets. All of them can do that. 4, 5, 10 yards a clip. Yeah. Let's go. Keep Lamar Jackson off the field. Let's go win this game. So let's bring on, we're kind of winding down here, Frankie. We're at 9:48. So we're going to bring on our guys, talk about some Jets trip. We're going to talk about some trivia for you guys. Well, let's say hello to the President of the United States, Y2K. Does he know he's on? Hey, Y2K, there he is. Look at him.
I sure do.
Looking good.
This is the game day helmet that I wear for every Jets game, and I thought there'd be no better time to premiere it than tonight. It is game week after all the mock drafts, all the network projections of experts who have no idea what the hell they're talking about. It is now time to shut the critics up and play some freaking football. It is a new era. Let's get it going.
Agreed. Well said, Y2K. And I like the hat. Can you show us the side of it again?
Sure, I'll take it off. We'll give you a nice little close-up. We got the old school.
Ooh, I like it.
It's nice, huh?
At least you have some sense. I mean, Christopher and Woody Johnson don't, but at least Y2K does. He knows what kind of logo to put on a helmet.
I'm sorry that it doesn't have gray in it, Frankie.
Well, still, okay. We can't have everything.
Right. It's good enough. I'll tell you what, I like it. I think that's a good one. So that's the helmet that you wear during games?
I wear that during games when we're leading the touchdown chant. I always do a little slap to get everybody going, and it works well. I actually got it, believe it or not, at church. It was actually at a men's breakfast. The guy told me that I mentioned I was a Jets fan. He said, I was a guest at a Jets game. I got something. Meet me tomorrow in the lobby, and boom, he handed me the helmet over. He didn't know what he was going to do with it. I took it, and that was about 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I've been wearing
that was like a 50-50 risk you took with your life, Y2K. You could have been, been abducted in a van by the river.
But I was in public. It's not like he said meet me in the back alley, by the Ford Bronco.
Right. Well, hey, you don't hear that kind of a story every day. Going to church, getting a Jet construction helmet. Very good. I like it. Let's bring on the other guy. It's kind of weird. I don't know what he's doing right now. I see a fan. I'll show you guys what I see. Let's bring him on. Oh, he's back. There he is. So Jeremy from Jets Chaos, he is actually preparing for his trek east. Admittedly, like I just said, I thought he was already in transit. So I expected him to be here. As you guys know, I am now in New Jersey. I'm down in the Jersey Shore right now. Tomorrow I'll be heading up to Staten Island, and we have some neat stuff planned. Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. It's frantic. I've been closing up ties at work. You know how that is before you leave. So I just got home, packed a suitcase, getting ready. I got a couple more work things to do, but I'll be heading to the airport in a couple hours, and away we go, baby.
You got the red eye, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that, to be able to go to work and still get as much time in New York, New Jersey as possible.
Well, that's good. Yeah. So now when are you staying until? Obviously we have the game on Sunday. Are you leaving Monday? Are you leaving Sunday night? What are you doing?
I leave Monday at like 6:30 p.m. my flight.
Well done. Well done. I think that's a smart move. I might look now. I'm really contingent on the Jets. Like last year, 2 years when I brought my son up here, we had full plans to stay over Sunday night and hang out with my mom and everybody on Monday. The Jets, they lost. We drove right home, right from the stadium. I just called people. Hey, I'm not coming. Goodbye. I drove right down to Virginia, 6 hours. Goodbye. Yeah, so I don't know. I get I'm a little wimmy. Hopefully the Jets have a good showing, man. Because look, not for nothing. I mean, obviously we're rooting for our team always, but there's a lot of us going, and it's going to be a unique experience, at least as far as like, look, we gave tickets away. We got people flying in from Florida, from Iowa, from all over the place. And a lot of people are going to kind of commune in the same area. We're all going to collect in the same area. And it would be really cool, even if we lose, just to have a damn respectable team. Just look like a damn NFL team. And don't embarrass us. Fireman Ed, I guess he's now the solo Jets chant guy again. Did I hear that? Did you guys hear that? Fireman Ed is back.
Where did
He
you
said
get
he told
I know he's leading the chants. I mean, he
Well,
never
you know what
stopped
they've
going
been-
to the games. He just stopped doing the chants for a little while.
Well, he was doing it. Well, you know what they were doing, Y2K? It was so dumb. They were splitting the screen between 2 or 3 people. So it would be Jetman, who's got all the Mardi Gras beads and all that kind of stuff. And then you have Fireman Ed, and then you have another guy. And they're all trying to lead the stadium. But guess what? They're not in unison. So I was like, I'm telling you, it was like they've all but destroyed the potency of the Jets chant. So maybe, just maybe, I mean, Fireman Ed's out there saying everybody be in there at 12:30 because we're going to get it pumped from the word go. I'll be in there at that time with Jeremy. We'll be in there trying to. I hope it's just him on the screen because boy, oh boy, is it difficult when 2 and 3 people are trying to lead the friggin' chant. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. So anyway, it'd be nice to have a nice little showing. Maybe you can even feel proud of our team. Wouldn't that be nice? And if we win, we're gonna have to string up Aaron Butler. That's what we're gonna have to do. Have to find that guy.
Yeah.
Aaron Butler will magically disappear if that happens.
Yeah, we'll never see him again. Never.
Ravensbot self-destructs.
Yeah, we'll never see him again. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know how old he is or whatever. Well, like, I've been doing this a long time, this online shit talking thing. And again, 99 out of 100 times, you never see him again. Every now and again, there's that one person that goes, hey, good game or whatever. Most of the time, poof, poof. They just magically disappear. It's crazy. It's really impressive. So, Y2K, we are 5-0 this year with the trivia. So, guys, here are the rules. Y2K is going to ask us a question. We want to rely upon our Jet knowledge, not Google or Bing or any other search engine. So please try to refrain from just quickly Googling it. So let's see if we can get this one. Y2K, what do you got in store for us?
Okay, and we're going to do. It's now the 4-minute drill. I've got my stopwatch right here. Okay,
There you go. Good. Thank you for remembering. I completely forgot.
So I will be keeping track of the. I'll give you guys occasional timestamps. So, all right, guys. Here's your question. I had to make it Jets Ravens focus. So the Jets and Ravens have played on opening day before. I'm sure a lot of us remember that game. It was back in 2010. The Ravens won the game 10-9. It is well remembered for Dustin Keller going out of bounds on 4th down, about a yard or 2 short of the first down marker. I still don't know what he was thinking. But in that game, there were 3 Baltimore Ravens who also played for the New York Jets. Your job, name those 3 players. Go.
Former Ravens who were playing for the Jets that year.
No, they were playing for the Ravens in that game, but they also played for the Jets at some point in their career.
All right. Trevor Price, Ed Reed, and let's see here, and Mason.
Was Ed Reed on that team? Wait a second. Was Ed Reed? I think Ed Reed.
Yes.
Derek
Ed
Mason.
Reed, Trevor. That's
Yeah.
my guess. Trevor Price, Ed Reed, and Anthony Mason. Not Anthony Mason. That's the Knicks.
Yes.
What the hell is it? You know who I'm talking about. What's his name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was that. Oh, you know what? It didn't come up. I
Get
think
it?
you know what? Ed Reed didn't come up initially because I think he missed that game due to an injury. But he wasn't there in that career. So you know what? Yeah, I think it actually is 4. All right. Yep, it is 4 as a matter of fact. All right. So he didn't play in the game. We'll count him anyway. He was on the roster. So that's fair. Okay. Ed Reed, Derek Mason, those 2 are correct.
How about Trevor Price?
Trevor Price is incorrect. He was with the Jets.
Get out.
What year was this game?
2010.
2010. We went to the AFC Championship. That was the-
2010.
Greenbean, who's the safety? That came from the Ravens and played for us.
Jim
was the
Leonard, but he wasn't playing on the Ravens at that game. So he's saying like that game they were still
Right.
Ravens, but they played for the Jets later.
Joe
Right, right.
Flacco.
Joe, thank you. I was waiting for Joe
Yeah.
Flacco.
Who's that? Who's that?
I thought that was the easy one. All right, we got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
2010.
All right, so we got
Art
Derek
Scott.
Mason, we got Joe Flacco, we
Bart
have Ed
Scott was a
Reed.
Jet.
So
Bart
there's
Scott was a
one
Jet by
more.
then. One more.
One more. And it's not Trevor Price. I find that hard to believe. He was
I think
feel like I'm
Price, I
right.
think that was the year I think Price went over during that season, unless he was cut.
maybe it was like mid 2009 and he
I
was
think
yeah,
it was
maybe.
like spring. It was like training camp, something like that.
Man, this game, by the way, this game
2010.
is 10,
Yeah.
this game is 10-10, but the Bills are much better than the Rams. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I hope the Bills lose.
The Rams look like crap.
All right, we got Ed. I'm looking through. I'm seeing if you guys are
There goes Singletary. Oh boy.
you see Bart Scott, but he wasn't still on the Ravens at that point. I don't know.
I
Let
don't
me
know
see.
any
Jeremy,
other
take a guess.
2010
Frankie,
Ravens.
take a
Look
guess.
at anyone.
I don't know any other 2010 Ravens. I'm all out of 2010 Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who the hell remembers the 2010 Ravens? Y2K.
Hold on. Yeah,
Off
I
the
know it's
top of your
hard.
head.
It's
He
hard.
also played for
But-
the Jets.
But they also were
three.
Jets. So Ed Reed,
Ah.
hold on. I
There's
feel
always
like I should
one
know
guy
this.
in the chat who comes through like absolute last minute. It is not CJ Mosley. Owen guess CJ is not. He had not been drafted at that
He
time.
was not there yet. Yeah.
Wasn't Mosley.
I'm expecting Tigo to like. Pull
I
one
think
out of
it's
his
Trevor
ass with, like,
Price.
10 seconds left.
I'm
You know,
s-
Price. And Price was with the He was with the Ravens into 2010, but during the 2010 season, he was a Jet. I just checked it. So he was a Jet in 2010.
Michael Orr. I like that as a guess. Greg C.
Michael, I think Michael Orr only played. Well, he was drafted by the Ravens for sure. So Michael Orr was never a Jet.
I'm going through the offensive line. Do we have any running backs from them?
Yeah.
No.
We got 30 seconds.
Do we have any offensive linemen?
Lineman.
I'll give you that it's defense. I'll give you that right now.
Defense.
This is the toughest one.
Oh,
I'll
Yeah,
give you
clearly, right? We're
Yeah.
struggling. No, it's not Calvin Pace. He came from the Cardinals.
that. Cardinals. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lito
John
Shepherd.
Ridgeway.
Who?
John Ridgeway.
John
John
Ridgeway.
Ridgeway.
Yes, John Ridgeway. Yes, back in elementary school.
Where's
John
Aaron
Ridgeway.
Butler? How come Aaron Butler didn't help us out? What are you doing,
Yes,
dude?
Aaron Butler. Yeah, of all people, I would expect.
You know what I
Aaron
mean?
Butler.
Because he's an AI bot. That's why.
Jeremy,
All right,
you
who was
kind
it,
of-
Y2K?
Jeremy, you were kind of near it when you said it was a safety. He was a safety, and he started for the Jets for 2 years.
What?
Yeah,
Who, Jim Leonard?
and it wasn't Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard came immediately. He was
Yeah.
there in 09.
So he started for the Jets for 2
Howie
years.
got it. Howie from Jets HQ. It was DeJuan Landry. 2 years started for the Jets.
Right on. Muscle man himself.
DeJuan,
Look at that.
not LaRon Landry, DeJuan Landry.
That was the one I meant, but Greenbean quickly said I was wrong and named that other name.
He named Jim Leonard.
I'm just kidding.
No, you
I'm
were
sure-
talking about Jim Leonard. You
Of
know
course
you
I
were.
was.
Yeah.
You know I like to cheat, Greenbean.
Yes. He likes to revise history. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
It's his,
No,
it's
he
his
played
gig.
every game. Yeah, Landry played every game for the Jets for 2 years, believe it or not. Right
Yeah.
at the end of the Rex era. So
He was a stud. There's Aaron Butler. A little too late, buddy. You gotta if you're gonna hang out here, you can at least help us with friggin' Ravens trivia. What is this?
Yeah,
Finally, we needed you. You gave us nothing. So
nothing.
so we didn't get it. That is, we are now 5-1.
5-1, just like the Jets are going to be, right?
That's right. That was a good one, Y2K. Like it was difficult, right? Like you want to be difficult, but that was well within our ability to answer. And I think that was a good one. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thanks. It's hard to do anything other than players' names because if I said, well, what team did the Jets beat? You could just run through every single team, just boom, 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 and eventually you'll get it. So yeah, I got to phrase these questions in a certain way to make them difficult. So.
But no. Hey, I didn't do it.
Oh, hi.
I don't do anything. Hold on. I'm approving computer time right now. Hold on. What are you doing? Enter the screen time password? Get out of here.
By the way, Josh Allen is like throwing dudes down on the ground. He's taking them and throwing them down like they're not even, adult humans.
Wait till he meets Michael Clemens.
Well,
Oh yeah, how's Von Miller doing? TJ says Von Miller is looking good on the Bills
Pretty
right
good,
now.
He's having his moments.
we're not. Let me tell you something right now. We're not beating the Bills. Just get that out of your head. We're not beating the Bills. They are too good. Sorry, I'm not going to believe that one unless we are just beyond all expectations. I mean, this team is just way too good. Sorry,
I don't appreciate
Look at these
Frankie's
people.
most recent comment.
I mean, they're just beating people up left and right. Josh Allen's throwing people to the ground. Devin Singletary's running over people. Get out of my way. Like 5 yards after contact. Boom, get out of my way. Breaks a tackle. This guy runs over 7-8 yards after. I mean, they're
Touchdown.
just bullying
Oh
people.
my gosh.
Touchdown.
You already got it?
Yeah.
They're just bullying people.
Oh man, it's right because you're in California. You're ahead of me.
Paris disagrees. He said the Jets might beat the Bills at MetLife. Where is it?
Anything might
Jet
happen.
Sonic says for shame, Frankie, for shame.
I'm just telling you, this team looks strong. I mean, I haven't seen our team. Can I see our team? Like,
Right,
I haven't
there you
seen them
go.
in preseason. I have no idea what we got, but I can see this team. This is a damn good team, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, look, this
They're
is what
tough.
that's what happens when you keep the same guys on your
Yeah.
team for 5 years, 6
And
years.
they're
I think
good.
you're yeah. Imagine that.
Mackenzie. This is why Jamison Crowder would not have been a good fantasy pickup because Mackenzie is
Oh, yeah.
he's pushing Crowder to the bench.
Crowder's basically fair catching punts for them. But, I mean, he's getting some reps, but not a lot of targets probably.
No.
Not good for fantasy, but he'll help them in the season. Like, he'll
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
up first downs. He'll, he's
Well,
helpful
think
to have
about
on
it.
the
If
team.
Crowder is your depth, not
Yeah,
too
right.
shabby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
right.
too shabby.
Our depth
So
is Jeff
guy-
Davis.
Guys in the
Smith.
chat, I want to tell you guys, if you could use the single jet ticket for this opening day game against the Baltimore Ravens, please write in the chat yes. Write the word yes, and we will add you to the list. I'm gonna see how many. So how many likes do we have? We have 100. Let me see here. Is it 116? 116 likes. Somebody just unliked it. Who's doing that? Now it's back. Who's doing that? Now it's 117. All right. So we could conceivably pick 10, 11 people. So if you guys want the ticket, if you could actually use it. Okay. We got John Hepburn. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great to see you, John.
We got
me see.
Dick Cramp with a great name, Dick Cramp.
John Hepburn's going to be in Coney Island.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he told me he's coming. Yeah, so that's a perfect place to give him a ticket.
Oh, well, this is an electronic ticket. So either way, but yeah, I agree.
Nobody uses paper tickets anymore, Jimmy.
No, you know what though? Watch
I know.
okay, we have 2 of them.
You know what? Refreshing. Let's
Snowball.
see. TJ, that's 4.
Jeremy is just more whiny version of me. That's Tyson Matting. Who else? John Hepburn, Snowball, Dick Cramp, TJ.
John Hepburn's trying to double enter. He's trying to give himself 2 entries.
Yeah, we already got you, John. We
Like
already
this is
got
an
you.
election or something. You can vote as many times as you want.
John Salty Nuts says nope. Greg says he can't. Yeah, right. Brad again, right. Yeah, thank you guys. We don't want, if there's only 2 or 3 of you, let's give it to one, let's give it to somebody that can actually use it. Right. And if anybody understands not being able to make it to the game, it's me. I get it. Now I was offered, 2 games last year. I was offered tickets and I can't, I just can't get up here that much. So I totally understand. Jets Forever is he's sick about Zachy. I know. I hear you, dude. I just wanted to see the freaking kid. Now, week 4, it's crazy.
And that's coming from the eternal optimist. So who knows if it's actually going to go
Right.
that way.
Dom C says, pick a good winner. There he is. We're trying. We only got 3 on the list. 3 people on the list. Remember, if you guys could use the ticket
4.
and you would like to go to the game. Oh, 4. Right. Thank you, Watsuke.
We have 4. Yeah.
Please write in the chat right now. We can have as many as 11 of you. If you haven't hit like, please do. That gives us the ability to pick more guys. And whether or not we need it, it remains to be seen. So TJ actually has a parking pass and no ticket. Amazeballs. Look at that. Not bad, because that's the other thing. You got to get a friggin' parking pass. I'll tell you, man. I'm unhappy with their system over there. These tickets are courtesy of Dom C. Everybody loves Dom C, except Jeremy.
What are you talking about? It's my boy.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, they do exist. Whoever wins, don't forget to bring your paper bag. What? Why? What's a paper bag? To puke?
No, to cover his head. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah, I don't cover my head. I have a big white beard sticking out of the bottom of the bag. Everybody knows it's me anyway. Okay. Oh, I mean, look, that's it. We got 4 people. That's it. Only 4 of you can use the ticket, huh? Interesting. Dick Cramp says, I can't make it though. So that's 3. Well, you don't need Dick. I don't want to give you the ticket if you can't use it. Dick. All right. I guess that's it, right? No more? Nobody else wants the ticket? Because it'll be 3 of you. You guys got a good chance. You got a 33% chance of winning.
I only saw 3. Yeah. John, Snowball, and TJ. That's it.
That's it.
Snowball.
Cool. Dick Cramp can't win it.
Coop.
Let's see here. Let me do the thing. So, Jeremy, I didn't get what is your take on the game real quick while we do this? Realistically, I know you're coming, you're excited, it's going to be fun and all that shit. Realistically, what do you think's going to happen? Are you nervous? Are you psyched? Where are you with this? And what's your realistic thoughts here on the game?
I'm just hopeful. I think that we're the underdogs, but we've won games where we're the underdogs, and I don't think it's like we're like Frankie says. It's not like we're in Buffalo playing Buffalo, or even at home playing Buffalo. We're playing the Ravens, and so they're very good, but they're not Buffalo. So I'm not going to sit there and not feel like we have a fighting chance. I feel like we have a fighting chance if Flacco manages the game well. He's got to manage the game really well, and our defensive line got to go to town. But if we were going to win 4 out of 10 times, or 3.5 times out of 10, I was saying it yesterday. I just really need it to be this week. I think the fan base, not just for me, for the entire fan base, we really need to break this September thing. We need to rewrite a new chapter. It's 9/11. We really need the win. So if we're only going to win 35% of the time, we need that to be Sunday.
I agree. Starting the season this way would be fantastic. Even if we end up being like a 7-win team, like winning opening day is huge. It's, it's just number one, we're all going to be there. So we want that for that. Right. But in addition to that, it's like, it lets the NFL know, like, look, we're young, we're inexperienced, we're sloppy, but we have a talented roster and we can beat you. That's what I want to see. What the hell's going on here with this thing? Come on, lucky spinning wheel.
I don't know. The Rams do not look good. Von Miller with the ghost technique. For those of you who just witnessed Von Miller with that sack, that's the famous ghost technique that he uses. That's what we're going to see when we play them.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
But that's okay, because we'll have Connor McDermott out there.
McDermott knows how to. He's the one who figured out the ghost technique.
We've been seeing ghosts out there on the field for years. Now we got to see.
We know all about ghosts.
Great.
What is happening? My spinning wheel isn't working, guys. I'm sorry. Here, let's do this one. Spinning pinwheel. Let's see. Thought I had it all set up for you guys. I guess we could do it the other way.
We got a super chat from James. Very nice super chat, by the way.
James Siberka.
MetLife 50 club ticket. Well, look at you, you bougie SOB. Good on you. Yeah.
Snowball says Ghostbusters. Yeah. Let's figure out how to. The problem is it's not, it's coming and you can't stop it anyway because he's so quick. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can, but
he's like ageless. Doesn't it feel like Von Miller's been around like 20 years?
I mean, he's just so, because he doesn't rely on power. It's all speed and elusiveness. That can last a long time.
All right, I'm downloading a new wheel. My wheel. Oh, it's already okay. That was fast. So here we go. I want to do it this way because then it's completely random. You know what I mean? Please select your age. Jesus Christmas. What is this?
Well, here's what I would say to James Siberka. Why do you have a Ravens buddy? What's going on with that?
And how does this Ravens buddy have access to a MetLife 50 club ticket?
Yeah, what the hell is going on here, James? Something fishy's going on right now. We need to determine what's going on. There's a Ravens fan trying to infiltrate the Jetnation, and I'm not too thrilled about it.
I know who James's buddy is. It's Aaron Butler.
It's Ravens bot. Listen, if you're going to bring a Ravens bot in like R2D2, like, be like James Chewbacca's walking in there, James Chewbacca with R2D2, next to him. And he's got a little thing on it that says Aaron Butler, the Ravens bot. And he's going, figuring out he's telling us about every single player on the roster and how they're all going to the Hall of Fame.
All right, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it. All right, we'll see how it goes. Let me see. Spin.
Okay.
Huh. Hepburn.
Hepburn wins.
Hepburn the heartburn.
John Hepburn. Should I do a best 24 out of 36?
No, just give it to Hepburn.
Okay.
Hepburn,
do you really want it?
I was right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So Hepburn wins, and I'll get right to you, James. Thank you, buddy. And I see Ed as well. So John Hepburn, you are the winner, everybody. Yeah, all right. There you go. So Hepburn, just remind us, say there, he says, hey, do you really want it? Because then we'll get your information, and we'll send you the ticket tonight. Right? Iowa, how do we do this?
Should have figured out how to do it beforehand, perhaps.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll see you Saturday. Well, it's all right. So it's electronic ticket. We'll figure out. So John Hepburn, you're going to go to the game, buddy. We have your ticket. Thank you, TJ and Snowball. It was good.
So now, John Hepburn, you have to be the loudest fan in the stadium. Okay, that's the deal. You need to be super loud, dude. Like, come on now, and we're going to be watching you.
Hey, so John, if you could write your email for Iowa in the chat right now. Nobody else, email them, just Iowa. Go ahead, write your email. Iowa will email you and tell you the directions and whatever and get you the ticket. Okay? Amazing. What an amazing night this is. We gave out another free ticket. So that's now six people we've gotten to the game. I'm really happy. So James Siberka, thank you for the super chat. He says, you guys are the best. I'll be there. My Raven buddy bought me a MetLife 50 club ticket. Is it okay if I bring that prick with me to meet you guys?
No, it's not okay.
And James did confirm that I was right. Apparently his friend is Aaron Butler. At least he's going with it. Anyway.
What?
Is it Aaron Butler?
He said I was right. I think he's probably just playing with us, but let's just go with it.
R2D2 will be there. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, look, man, James, let me tell you this. I'll lay it out there pure as I can for you. I went to every home game at Giant Stadium for the Jets for like maybe 6 years, and then I sprinkled in the next couple of years, like 4 or 5 games. Many games I had Dolphins fans with me. I have a Bills fans friend. I've had, Dallas fans with it just is what it is, man. If you got a buddy and he's a fan of the opposing team, absolutely bring him. Just know that we don't have to like him. That's what I'm telling you. We don't have to be friendly. We'll be, cordial. That's the only guarantee I can give is cordial. We don't have to like him, but of course. And yeah, that's super cool. He bought it for you. You can't then add conditions. Thanks for the ticket. You're not allowed to come with me. You can't do that. So I think that's super cool. And absolutely, we're going to be with the Jet Lounge. I think that's in Lot D. We're going to have a great time. We're also going to the Coney Island Cyclone Saturday, 11 a.m. in front of the Coney Island Cyclone. Guys, if you're anywhere near the area, get over there. It's going to be a blast. We're going to do the Jets chant from the top of the Coney Island Cyclone. We're going to film it. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. Then we're going to go get some pizza right there in Brooklyn. We're going to go to the world famous L&B Spumoni Gardens. And then after the pizza, we're going to get Jeremy's favorite thing in the world, Spumoni. If you don't know what Spumoni is, don't even look it up. Just find it out. It's delicious. Wonderful. The pistachio, right, Jeremy?
Oh, my God.
So good.
Let me some pistachio.
The best.
It's the best. It really is fun. Who said they're going? I see somebody said they're going to Coney Island. Everybody's happy for you, Hepburn.
Hepburn
There it
said he
is.
was. Yeah, Hepburn definitely said he was.
That's amazing. Snowball, I'll be at Coney Island. That's awesome. Great.
Snowball.
I'm happy you're coming. Modine, why don't you come to Coney Island, you bastard? Let's all thank Dom C for the Hepburn ticket. Thank you, Dom. You are the best. And we really do appreciate it. I just saw, where the hell did Ed? There it is, Edward Ziff. Is anyone going to Pat's Jets game October 30th? Well, interestingly enough, I will actually be heading down to the Virginia Jets fan club that day to hang out with WA2K. If anybody is in the area, anywhere in Virginia, you are invited, officially invited to come hang out with us down there at the Virginia Jets fan club at AJ Gators, October 30th. I don't know, Ed. I'm not sure if anybody on here is going. None of you guys, right? Frankie's in Pittsburgh. Jeremy's in Sacramento. Y2K's in Norfolk. Where is that? Where you're kind of close to there, right? Y2K?
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
me.
the bar is in Norfolk. I live about a half hour away from there. And you can always take Amtrak. The Amtrak line goes from Boston through New York, New Jersey, Philly. It goes straight down to Norfolk anyway. So you could always jump on a train. Like you could get rates right now for $30-$40 each way. I mean, right now there's a lot of savings. So there's some good buys to take an Amtrak down to Virginia. So if it's something that you're interested in, let me know you're coming. Just just send me a shout out on Twitter or the Virginia Jets fans on Facebook. Let me know you're coming.
There you go. And let me tell you guys, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm kind of a wings snob. Most of the time I get wings,
What?
I'm disappointed.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, a
Is
little
there
bit.
such a thing as a wings snob? I've heard of
Oh,
a wine
yes.
snob.
Yes.
There's wine snobs. There's obviously hot sauce snobs. We have one right here with us. But a wings snob? I mean, come on now. How does one become? What do you?
I still
expect the
remember when
chickens?
GreenBean. I remember when GreenBean was talking about tailgating and the way he broke down the process of how he makes his wings. About 20 minutes later, I still don't think he started cooking them yet.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's serious about this. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, look, dude, when you can go like any of these chains like Wingstop or whatever, they're terrible wings. They rely on the breading and the really crunchy fry and all that shit. You got to know how to make wings, and when you do, it's good. The other thing, Frankie, that I'm always disappointed in is they say like the flavors. It'll say nuclear, and you get it, and there's no heat. Like I don't like that. I like
too.
Appropriately label it: mild, medium, hot, crazy hot. Don't order this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those.
The last one should be you need to sign a waiver, to order this. I've actually had that in a restaurant. And and I signed the waiver, by the way, and I got the hot sauce, Jeremy. You'd be glad to know I tried it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was and it was appropriately high. It was ridiculous. But Slattery makes a good point in the chat here about what the wings you make, Green Bean. Are they better than those made at the Anchor Bar, which are famous?
You know what? I'm very sad to say, even though I was in Buffalo and I went to Niagara too. I was up there for a little bit. I did not make it to Anchor Bar.
Oh,
So I was very
what a missed
disappointed.
opportunity.
It just didn't work. There was a weird string of events, and both my wife and I, we were very disappointed. It just didn't work. So I'm sad. I'm like, my wings are very unique. They're unlike any wing you're going to get anywhere. Like, they're completely unique. So it's hard to compare them to other wings, but my wings are the best.
But you got to try them. Like Slats is saying. So Jennifer Slattery lives near or in Buffalo. And she's saying, Anchor Bar's terrible. That may be true, but they're world famous, Slats.
Yeah.
You got to at least have the experience of, okay, let's try these. And then you can see what that's all about. I mean, they're world famous, right? Aren't they, Slats?
Yeah. Well, I think they're the place that started it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the Buffalo wing. That's where it comes from.
You got to try it. You got to try it. Even if to say, yeah, I confirm they're terrible per my taste buds.
Yeah, well, I went around too. I asked people in Buffalo, just like, hey, where's the real wing spot? And it was Anchor and someplace else. I forget what it was.
Yeah, there is one other place. It's like most of these places, they have like two places that go head to head. Whether it's Pat's and Gino's for cheesesteaks in Philly, there's the two hot dog places, the Coney Dogs in Detroit. And it's no different with the wings in Buffalo.
Yeah, Jennifer says it's like going to Anchor Bar is like going to Sbarro in New York. And I get it. I know what you mean by that. But again, I mean, Sbarro doesn't claim to create and invent pizza. I mean, Anchor Bar invented it, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, my wings, the secret to my wings is that I bake them after they're grilled and marinated and everything. Then I bake them in the sauce for a while. It's a whole different thing. I bake the sauce till it's like a gel. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this one. It is now 10:24. This is the final Thursday thick of it before the official first game of the New York Jets 2022 season. We are in high spirits. I put Aaron Butler in a timeout because I felt like it. That's why I did it. Because I'm just tired of the all right, you can talk, but with the 52-3, get out of here with that shit. So you can come back. You're just in a timeout. But anyway, guys, we're going to have a good time. I know Jeremy and I will be at the game. Watch UK will be at the Virginia Jet fan club, and Frankie will be hiding in a closet. I think I'll be
right here. I'll be doing my drive charts right here.
There you go. Frankie's drive charts.
Frankie and Johnny's.
Yeah. So, John Hepburn, if you haven't already, please get your email to Iowan Jets fan. If you whatever can't do that, email me. My email is in the description of the video, and we'll take care of it and get you the ticket. And that'll be awesome. I'm really happy that you were able to get the ticket, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the Coney Island Cyclone on Saturday. It's going to be a fun time, and then we'll go to the game on Sunday and have an even better time because the Jets are going to make Aaron Butler cry. It's going to be so good. So anyway, quickly, guys, let's go through it. Jeremy, what do you got coming up?
Hey, man, I'll be with you. Like you said, I'm going to be getting lots of footage. I might be popping on the channel here and there, but it's going to be interesting on Wednesday next week. Can't wait to get together with Adam and whoever we get on the show and talk about the week that was. So jet up, guys. Can't wait. Can't wait to see you, Green Bean.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. And just quickly, too, Nick W., all you got to do is show up to the tailgate. If you don't pay for the tailgate, then you just can't eat anything at the tailgate. But you can come. I mean, the stadium, it's just a big, wide open stadium. So if you're there, walk over, man. Come over, say, hey, I'm Nick W. I'll say, hey, what's up? That's what we'll do. Throw the ball around, whatever. But you're allowed to just come over and hang if you'd like. There's no there's no gates or anything like that. It's just open stadium. So you're welcome to come by and say hello. Watsuke, what do you got?
So as soon as we finish, I'm going to go ahead and record my own video. I'm going to be doing every week on either Thursday night or Friday morning. I'm going to post 5 bold predictions for the upcoming Jets game. And then on Monday, I'm going to do a recap video. But what I'm going to do is the top 3 plays that you may not remember that affected the outcome of the game. So I want to give a little bit different type of content. I plan on making those my weekly features. So I'm excited to start doing it. And I know the game day is going to be one of a kind. I'm excited to be sharing it with my friends. It's going to be a fantastic time, and I can't wait to get it going.
There you go. Congrats. That's awesome. We call that evolution, the evolution of a channel. That's what we're witnessing. I love it. Frankie, what do you got cooking?
Frankie from Flatbush Channel. We got Coffee with Frankie this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday Coffee with Frankie will be fantasy focused. And then the Sunday show will be right before the game. Latest information, inactives, injuries, surprise injury reports, commiseration, consoling, bucking people up,
Right.
Whatever needs to be done. Coffee with Frankie on Sunday mornings and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome. There you go. We got the Jets Chaos Channel, New York Sports, Wicker Media, and Frankie from Flatbush. Nick, we're going to be in Section D at the stadium. If you want to know specifically, just go to the Jet Lounge website and they'll be able to tell you a little bit, zero it in a little bit more for you. But yeah, man, we're having a good time. Again, guys, I want to let you know about the Coney Island Cyclone. If you're in the area, get over there and join us. It's just going to be a good time. No hubbub, no rules. Just buy a ticket to get on the Cyclone and hang out with us. It's going to be a great time. Guys, have a fantastic night. I am grateful that you are here. And we are going to watch our New York Jets, our 2022 incarnation of this terrible team that we've been rooting for. Let's see if we can turn a corner. I believe we can. Nice hat, Y2K. With that all said, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah!
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.